following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Sitting down and designing, where every man in a thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't trust me. Big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy Jimmy. Big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always love the clothes of Jimmy.
Bitch, I'm your wanna be. Jimmy Star, new celebrity.
We'll take you out to Jimmy Stars. He'll trust you.
Hello. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We missed you guys last week. We're very happy to be back. We got a super exciting show today with the incredibly talented Anna Maria Horsford, and then we have Isabella Karnstein and Michael Corvus coming on after that from the Chateau. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's start saying hi to everybody, which would start off with our cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
Back to be happy, really, happy to be back. I missed my show last week. We had a little thing that we had to do, and it was a private matter. And of course, we're back.
So we're happy to be here.
Yes, we are. And our guest today, I've got to tell you before she comes on, I have loved her work since I was like 30. I mean, I'm not aging her, but back when I lived on Long Island, and my daughter was about 7 and the other one was about 3. This gal made us laugh when she played the little girl who was so in love with the bishop. Remember, I forgot the name of the show. Anna will tell us. I loved that show. I felt so sorry for her. She was so pathetic, so in love with him. Well, finally, at the end of the seasons, when the show was over, she married him. It's a wonderful show. I wish they'd put it on repeat. Anyway, Anna is in real life, so warm, so loving. I met her at a party that Sean Kanan threw with Michelle, his wife.
It's an Emmy party.
Emmy party up at the penthouse above
Roosevelt Hotel rooftop.
The rooftop of the Roosevelt Hotel. And it was instant friendship. We sat there holding hands for hours, just adoring her and each other. She's a kind, warm, sensitive woman, and it shows in her humor. Her humor is innocent and gentle. She's a fine actress, and I'm really thrilled and so excited to have her on our show. I've waited a long time. We met her about a year ago or close to it. Anyway, Anna will be here soon.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can also see we have Astro sitting in the middle, hanging out with us.
And the reason why I'm nautical, because I'm in a Long Island frame of mind. Jimmy and I have made it public, and we have announced that within the next 18 months, we are moving back to Hampton, Long Island. That's my home. I feel at my age, which I'll be 82 in May, I should return to where I was born. In the event I croak, my dear friends, since I know forever, don't have to fly to California to come to my memorial. I'll be there. All they do is hop in their car. They drive a little distance. But seriously, folks.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No, I love Long Island very much. It's a very beautiful place. I hate the winter. I hate January and February. So Jimmy and I will be coming back to LA quite often to see our dear friends and Miss Sue Wong, who I adore.
And to make movies.
So it's like today, no one lives really in one place. We sleep in one place for a length of time, but we travel all over, especially in our business. So that's the big news break.
There you go. So we also have a chat room filled with people starting to fill up. Let's say hi. What's up? Backpack John is in the chat room.
Hey, Backpack.
Teresa Sabin was in the chat room, and then she said she'll be right back.
She had to go to the bathroom.
Jimmy's there from the Dick and Jimmy show.
Hey, Jim.
I think that you guys are going to have a lot of fun today with our guest. It's going to be a lot of fun. And oops.
Well, Anna Maria is a religious lady, so we're not going to be profound or nasty. You know how we get sometimes a little risque. We're going to keep it very intelligent because she's an intelligent lady, and we don't want to in any way embarrass her.
And you guys know her from the Wayans Brothers and
What was
the
the name of
Bold
the
and the
show?
Beautiful.
What that she was in love with the bishop.
I don't know because I don't know if I ever
And he
saw
was
that.
cute, the bishop. He was a good-looking guy. So everybody used to swoon from him. And we only wanted him to notice her in that poor little pathetic part that she played. He never gave her a tumble. He didn't even know she was there. And she would
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's
I
a
hope she
wonderful
does.
show. I wish that show was in rerun instead of 9,000 Hogan Heroes. I mean, really, that show should definitely come back if they can get it and put it on rerun. It would be as charming today as it was back in the late 1970s, maybe, or early 80s.
It was all fun. Lots of one of the other things that I'm sure we'll talk about, and she must have been younger when it was in. She was in The Fan with Lauren Bacall and James Garner and Maureen Stapleton, Michael Biehn, who's been on our show, Hector Elizondo. He's from Pretty Woman.
Oh, Anna's been around.
Yeah, she's got everything. And one of my favorite things that she is in, though, is A Medea Christmas, the Tyler Perry Medea Christmas. Out of all the modern Christmas movies, that's one of my absolute favorites. So we're going to have a good time. Lady Lake
she's
just
very
joined.
interesting. And I know you're going to fall in love with her the way I did.
Cindy Lady Lake just joined us, too. So hello, Cindy. Welcome to the show. Hope you are
Cindy,
well.
what's going on, baby?
And what else happened? So, and we watch. Do we watch anything cool? Not really, right?
Only that wonderful period.
We finished The
piece.
Gilded Age,
Oh,
ended
my
on,
God,
and we missed
that
that.
Gilded Age is fantastic.
On
It's
HBO
as good
Max.
it's as good as Downton Abbey.
Now we have nothing to watch, though,
No,
because
I mean,
another season's not
everybody-
coming.
All my friends, everybody I know, they said, "Oh my God, it's over. How are we going to live till next season?" It's that good. Wonderful performances by those actresses and actors. They're all supreme people. I
Cindy will love that
I couldn't
one.
find one fault. The gowns, the costumes, my God, they're incredible. They're the quality of what Sue Wong does. I mean, really, it's an incredibly beautiful show, well written, well spoken, and not political. So it's just a joy to watch. Watch it next season or catch up on the reruns now. Binge it.
Also, we
mean-
want to welcome Dawn. Just joined us.
Hey, Dawn, how are you?
She just joined us. She said she's here. Did you you have a white watch on today?
Yeah, I have a white, the 40s watch, white. Like I want to look very Long Island, East Hampton. And this is how we look at East Hampton. It's very nautical because everybody has sailing boats. Of course, it's Long Island and it's at its narrowest point. So to get across from east to from what is that? I forgot. East to west. North to east. Right. It goes north to east, very narrow, but from east to west, 157 miles long. It's a beautiful island, cluttered with people, outrageously expensive. So if you're thinking of moving there, get ready to spend $1 million or more.
That's funny.
And taxes are outrageous on Long Island. My friends complain. Some people are paying up to $32,000 a year in taxes on their homes. I mean, it's just stupid. If you could buy like a nice house, say a house for like $500,000, we'll say, you're going to pay about $6,000, $7,000 tax, which is crazy. So it's really a hard place to live unless you make a lot of money. And since Jimmy doesn't pay me ever in the 14 years I'm on his show, he's going to have to pay the taxes.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm a poor man. I have nothing. I own nothing. I have nothing. I live off my Social Security check. I'm just a poor man. Very poor.
So we should do a little ad thing so I can get it out of the way. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Number one, I would love it if everybody would go on to Apple Podcasts and leave a review for the show. I never really noticed that we didn't have a ton of reviews, so I've been trying to push for it in social media. I think we have about 400 and something, reviews, and we have all 5-star reviews except for one. So whoever left that one review a couple years ago was a hater.
And the reason I'm drinking so much, I had Gorgonzola for lunch, which I love Gorgonzola, but boy, does that make you thirsty. Woo.
So you can hear the show, you guys, on iHeartRadio.
Gorgonzola is a cheese.
Yes, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, TuneIn, Pandora, Amazon Prime, and SoundCloud. Check it out on all the different platforms. And if you have an Apple Podcast or iTunes account, please leave us a good review for the show on there. We'd appreciate it.
I had no idea. I'm amazed at what happens on this show. I never knew that we did 1 billion downloads. Jimmy told me. I didn't ever know. I would never know nothing. Now I just found out that Jimmy puts his clients in over 85 magazines. Am I right with the number?
Yep.
Imagine that. So if you're
And
a
about 60 podcasts.
if you're a client of Eileen Shapiro and Jimmy Star, you will be in over 85 magazines.
Those are just the ones we write for. Then there's other ones that we
Right,
get
they
people
write
in that
for.
we don't write
they
for.
They will critique your work. They could make you or break you, of course, but they'll make you.
Absolutely.
So I was amazed to find that out, and all the other publications that they belong to. Big shot at publications.
Yes, it's fun. You got to enjoy it.
I'm very impressed. Sometimes I underestimate Jimmy because I really don't pay attention. When you live with somebody, you're so busy complaining that you have no time to listen.
You look super cute today, though.
I am super cute for 81, almost 82.
82. It's coming up.
It's coming up in 2 months. I'll be 82. Woo, woo, woo. Imagine.
You got to like it. Oh, and we're going to LA tomorrow, you guys, to have dinner with
Marcel.
Blind's Marcel Waltz and his husband Dominic.
Marcel Waltz is the producer,
Director.
producer also, producer director of that fabulous movie called Blind that I
And
read
Pretty
about
Boy.
with that performance by Sarah French. There's a position open now in my book because the person that was supposed to play Sylvia cannot make it. So now I'm thinking of asking Sarah French to replace that character. Sarah is a tremendous actress, and I have all the confidence in the world in her. And I know that she'll make Sylvia, who's a selfish, arrogant, lying bitch, a great performance. I think Sarah can handle it.
Absolutely.
I have to ask her. She hasn't said any. She doesn't really know anything about it. You guys know about it before she does. But I love Sarah French and Lorene Landon. I mean, these are two actresses that you will not find in the biggest of Hollywood movies today. These girls should only be in A movies. That's how wonderful their work is. And of course, Marcel is the most fantastic director. I'm in one of his films that will be coming up soon called The Bride. And I cannot wait to be directed by Marcel Waltz.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So
Yep.
everything is good, you guys, and life is good. And even though we missed a week, we're happy to be back. And you guys are going to love our first guest, who I think is getting ready to come in now because
I you know what? I have to be honest, folks. I can't bluff you. I went in to have a test, urologist test, and my urologist said, Ron, there's a spot on your bladder. And whether it's cancerous or not, I don't care. I want it out. So they went in and they burnt it out. Now it's out being tested to see if it's malignant, and then we'll know. If it's malignant, it's no big deal because at my age, everybody gets a cancer spot somewhere. Cancer is there. We cannot deny it. But you know me, I didn't care. Had a surgery on Wednesday, went out to the Sky Club the next day to a red carpet event. Jimmy couldn't believe how I could do that after a surgery. But, I will not miss a performance or an event if I can
avoid
walk.
it.
If I can walk or crawl, I'll get there.
So now we're going to bring in our guest.
Yes.
It looks like
I'm
she's here.
excited.
I am
I'm
too.
excited.
Hey!
Hey, darling. Ron, I just have to tell you, cancer, no cancer, you're not going anywhere. You're the bionic man. You're the $6 million man. Okay?
Honey, I've got more plastic.
Hang on
I've got more plastic in me than a Ken doll.
Hey, hang on one second.
How-
Is there a way to turn her down a little
Yeah,
bit?
lower
Or do
her.
I need to change it on our end,
Well-
Roxy?
Wait
Hang
a
on.
minute. I have my tech crew here too. Can you turn me down?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, throw water on me.
There we go. At least we won't have to worry about it. Everybody
I
will
have
hear
got
you.
to say something, and this is no baloney.
Yeah.
You are one of the most beautiful black women I know. And I'm comparing you to Lily McLeod, my dear friend, who I don't know if you know who she is.
I
Another-
think I do know her name.
Well, Lily
Big
is
singer, big singer.
Lily is like 55. She looks she looks 25. She's the most beautiful black girl you ever saw. And also my other friend, who's Cece Peniston. Finally, you know
yeah.
Cece.
Yes, New Jersey.
Another gorgeous girl. So we're surrounded.
Hold on. We
by-
have to introduce her, though.
But I will.
Oh,
We're surrounded
right.
by beautiful women always, is what I want to say.
You're like so gorgeous,
Look at
though.
that
So here we
smile.
go.
I love her so much. She knows
In
that.
the chat room, they're already saying, all right, everybody, now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show the wonderfully talented and gorgeous Anna Maria Horsford, hello and welcome to
And
the show.
funny and funny.
Hello and welcome to you, the two nicest men I've met
Well,
in a long time. A
Anna,
long
love
time.
it.
Anna, like I said prior to your getting on, what was the name of that show where you were in love with the bishop?
The bishop, you have given me more religion than anybody ever.
No.
in my
You
career.
remember the one where you were?
I know
you
he
were
was a minister.
a
The
minute.
bishop is Catholic and all of that. Amen.
Amen. I wish they would bring it back in reruns. I'm so sick of looking at Hogan's Heroes every night. I mean, I love that show. You were so pathetic in that show. You were so in love with him, and he didn't even know you existed. And I used to get so angry. I used to say, "She's beautiful. She's
But
in love with
guess
you."
who got him in the long run? You know,
There
men
you
never
go.
take what they're
But
supposed to.
then at the end of the show, you married him, and I was so happy.
Yes. But I will have a little surprise for you. The man who's responsible for this, outside of my daddy, is a gentleman that I met with you, and he insisted on painting my face today and coming to say hello. Tony Walker.
I love Tony. What's up?
Another handsome guy.
Hey,
Look at
Tony,
this.
what's
everyone.
up?
Wait,
Hey, come in,
you?
come in, come
Tony,
in, come in, come
put
in,
that
come
How
in.
are you?
Now, girls, is he not handsome or what?
Yeah.
And you guys,
Stop it. Stop
I
it.
wish I had his teeth.
It is such a pleasure, Mr. Starr, Mr. Russell, to see you again.
The pleasure
I'm here
seeing
taking
you
care of,
again.
like you said, she is absolutely one of the most beautiful black women in the world with no additives. This is all her.
You know what? And what you see is what you get.
Yes.
No, for real. And she
And
speaks very
listen,
highly of you all since
Well,
meeting you.
well, how could she
loves
not?
you, and I can tell she loves you because she called me over to do her up for
And you
all.
made it. You
She
made her
loves you
look
guys.
like
I
you
know
made
she
her
loves
look
you.
young. You made her look young.
I only
You
get
made her
called
look
for the
about
really
30.
special occasion, so this must be special.
Oh,
She
good.
looks about
And wish him
30.
the best of fortune.
Oh yes, for sure.
And
Let
anyone
me
out
tell
there,
you,
listen,
so
wait a
a man
minute.
think it, so
Wait,
it is.
I
If
have
you
to
think that cancer is something that's going to keep you bound, it will.
No, I don't have cancer. It was a spot. Listen,
A
I want to
spot.
say something. If you can afford him and having a wedding and you want to look as good as Anna, I would suggest you get this guy to paint your face. As we said in the trade, beat your face.
Well, unfortunately, must say I'm in the business of I'm more so in the business of music now.
I know that. I was going to
yes,
promote
and-
that. You guys, Tony Walk is one of the best singers, R&B
Yeah.
soul singers you will ever hear. You can follow him at Instagram at, what's your Instagram?
The Real Sir Tony is the beauty page, and the Real Tony Walk is the music page.
The Real Tony Walk.
All right, now
The
get
real
off
Tony
our
Walk.
screen. We
And
did
he is
enough.
so good.
We want Anna. We want Anna.
Tony, we
want
love you.
Anna.
You're so
Love you all, love you
talented.
all, love you, all, love you.
I
all.
look
Thank you
forward
so
to
much.
Tony. I
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you again, Tony.
You guys, I'm not joking. Tony Walk is a real singer, and
Yeah.
I know we have a lot of music enthusiasts who listen to the show, so please look him up because he's super duper talented.
That's why I get so angry when I'm around some people that are sort of racist and they say cruel things about black people. I stand up and I say, you assholes. Have you any idea how many wonderful black people there are in this world? Music, everything you sing and dance to is a black person. Half of the fashion you wear is a black designer. The
Yes.
fuck? Oops, I'm sorry. What the hell is wrong with you, you stupid bastards? I mean, what is wrong with these people
They
today?
say,
What is
Well,
going on?
Yeah, I think it's a word called ignorance.
Yes.
I think
Sometimes
it goes
people
no, I
don't
think
know.
it goes beyond ignorance. I think it's taught evil. It's
It could
taught at
be.
home.
It
It's
could
taught
be.
at home as they grow up. It's called taught evil. Their
Yeah.
parents taught them this. We
Yeah.
children do not have. I never saw color as a kid because I had all colored kids in my block. See, I still call them
Yeah.
colored. I
Where
lived
you
in
from,
I-
Ron?
Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a break.
Okay.
All my best friends
he's
were
from Brooklyn.
my
I've
black friend. I mean, I grew up with black people. I was in their homes. I never saw the color. I swear to God, Anna,
Yeah.
on my kids, I never saw color until
Now,
I
you
became
might
an
be
adult.
the vampire from Brooklyn, as good as you look.
yeah, he's like a vampire.
Well,
yes.
I was born in 1940 in
But
Brooklyn.
you look so good. I swear
Well,
to you. I swear to you. I don't know if Jimmy
I-
gave you something to drink.
No,
I'm not
I
sure
eat
what's
well.
going on
No,
there.
I
you know what? He doesn't do
don't
any
s-
drugs.
I don't smoke. I don't do drugs, and I don't drink. Maybe
That's
it's
it.
champagne. And I
That's it.
eat well. I'm not a red meat eater. I eat a lot of good pastas and stuff. I believe you are what you eat. I do
Yeah.
believe in that.
I do. I do. But anyway, glad to be here with you all.
I'm so happy
sorry.
to be
In
here.
the chat room, they're all talking about how wonderful you look and how
Oh,
the colors and everything go. So you're like looking
Oh, she
fabulous.
dresses beautifully. The night at the rooftop party at the Roosevelt, she was absolutely stunning. She was
So that's where we met her.
sparkling
Yes.
away. And
Yes.
I spotted her and I said, "Oh my God, Jimmy, look who's here." He said, "Who?" I said, "I don't know her name." I said, "But I love her." He said, "How could you love her if you don't know her name?" I said, "I don't know her name. All I know is she was that pathetic broad with that was in love with the priest or whatever he was."
So the name of the show
wait.
is Amen. The name of the
It's
show
on
is
Cozy TV.
it's on
Somebody
Cozy
just
TV.
wrote
Yeah,
it.
somebody just posted it up. You guys
So,
can watch it on Cozy TV.
Jimmy thought I was crazy. I said, "Jimmy, I love her. Oh, I have to go over and talk to her." Well, I thought she might be a snobby person, like a lot of them are. Think who the hell they are when they're in the business this long and they're that good of an actress. And I went over and I found, oh my God, I found an open heart. I found a woman who was so kind and sweet and sincere and honest. I spent my entire evening holding her hand. I didn't network. I didn't interview anybody. I ignored all the stars that were there.
Yeah. No,
And I
we did.
just gave Anna all of my attention because she's so worth it. And I'm not blowing smoke up anybody's butt because Ron
we
Russell
had a
doesn't do
beautiful
that.
evening. And
I think
there's
so.
sometimes you meet people at parties and you say, "Oh yeah."
And you move on.
And you move on. And I swear to you, you two were so kind that we spend the evening at that table just talking about your career, about Jimmy, about the show. Our two friends, Sean Kagan
And Michelle,
on
yeah.
Bold
Right.
and Beautiful, which I'm so
Yes.
happy to see him on that, and Studio
Oh
City.
yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
mean, you see, I really believe that God gives us all a talent, and we can choose to use it or not use it. If you use it, you meet all the people in the world that you're
Absolutely.
supposed to learn
Anna-
from, and who you have to teach something to. And we got the message that night. Our faiths were coming together.
I can cut it short. They used to say water seeks its level. And we
Yes.
certainly sought our level
Yeah.
because we're talented people, we're intelligent people.
We like to
are
have fun.
we are people. We are no more than people.
Right.
Nothing more than people.
Right.
Sexuality, color, religion.
Right.
We're none of that. We are just
agree.
people. Just human beings.
So I want to
period.
brag a
And
little.
wait a minute. And I think that's what connected was the fact that we were all on the same page, that we all just loved the other human. And I
Yes.
swear to you, I was so disappointed when you weren't coming on. I said, "Oh, Jimmy, but I'm happy she's working." Folks, she couldn't come on because she got a television show.
No, she was shooting The Bitch Who Stole Christmas with RuPaul.
Oh, okay. Well, now I'm glad that she's here. Jimmy,
So hold on, I'm gonna brag.
wait, Jimmy, brag.
Okay,
Brag
I'm
about
going to do
this
some
lady.
bragging. Okay, so first of all, you guys, if you're a soapy, you would recognize Anna from The Bold and the Beautiful because she was on it for a very long time, 77 episodes according to IMDb, which might not be wrong because sometimes they mess that up. But she's not only a huge television actress, she's a huge movie actress. She's worked with everybody. I only wrote down a few of the things that she's done because there's so many you can't do them all. And I want to give a shout out because she was on Studio City with Sean and Michelle Kanan, since they're very dear friends of ours. She was also on an episode of Hacks with Gene Smart, which I think is one of the best
I love
shows
Gene
on
Smart.
TV.
Love
That
Gene
was
Smart.
wonderful. Yeah. Yeah.
But you guys, the best of the modern Christmas movies to come out in the last 15 years is A Medea Christmas with Tyler Perry and Chad Michael Murray and Alicia Witt and James Roque and Tika Sumpter and Kathy Najimy. I mean, it's such a great show, and you were so great in it.
Thank you.
So you got A Medea Christmas, you guys. A Minority Report with Tom Cruise. You've got Friday, which she's in Friday, and you're in all the Fridays, right?
Just two of them.
Okay, the first two Fridays, Gridiron Gang, which I like sports movies, so like I love Gridiron Gang with The Rock and Exhibit. Along Came a Spider, Kissed a Girl, Set It Off. Dear God with Greg Kinnear, Mr. Jones with Richard Gere, Lena Olin, Anne Bancroft, and Delroy Lindo.
I mean, who else?
Hang on, St. Elmo's Fire, because that's a big one for me, because that's like my generation, because I was like the Brat Pack generation, so it has all the Brat Pack. One Fine Day with George Clooney and Michelle Pfeiffer. The Bitch Who Stole Christmas just came out.
Yeah.
There you go, Christopher. Class with Jacqueline Bisset, Andrew McCarthy, and Rob Lowe, and Cliff Robertson, and John Cusack. The Fan with Lauren Bacall, James Garner, Maureen Stapleton, Michael Bean, who's been on our show, Hector Elizondo. She's also been on a ton of TV shows, Wayans Brothers, Entourage, Bernie Mac Show, Judge and Amy, Moesha, The District. She's got a new series now Be Positive, and Jim Beaver is a friend of ours. We actually met him at an event, and he goes to a lot of red carpet events we invite him to, and he and his wife are friends of ours. And so tell us a little. So you guys, this is her new series. It's called Be Positive. I think I saw it's on Thursday nights, maybe. Is that right?
Well, it was. Yeah, we just finished our last episode last week with Ben Vereen and Anna Lee Ashford. She's the girl that got the Tony. And she came out to Hollywood, and is she not the nicest, most talented human being? Chuck Lorre produced the show.
I love it.
Linda Lavin is in it too.
Yeah, I wrote down Linda Lavin.
Linda Lavin. Oh, I met her 1,000 years ago.
Do you know Linda?
I met her in New York. She was doing, I believe, Gypsy or something on the road. I'm not very certain about it. Yeah. She's about 2 feet tall. She's about a size less than 0, but has a mouth on her like a real New Yorker. I loved her. I had the best time with Linda.
I love
look
it.
at Jim, right?
Yes,
Jim is a nice man. And Hector came to an acting class that I was in when I was 17 years old, and I followed his career. And the greatest glory is to see somebody, to work with somebody that you met before you got into the business.
I love it. Yeah, I have to say, I'm always a fan of his because when I was single and I would go on.
Can I say something?
No.
Wait, before I forget, I'm old. I met. See, I forgot. It's terrible being 82.
Almost.
I met Christopher Walken before he was an actor. We both rode the subway from New York to Astoria. We were living at the time in Astoria, Queens. His aunt used to bake all my birthday cakes. It was Walken's Bakery on the corner. And I knew Chris back then. I'm dying to run into him to see him again. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, you have to go back to New York because I met him at Lee Grant's party.
Lee Grant is a good friend of another. Yeah, Lee Grant, I've never met, but I could have. She's a friend of my friend Sandy Harmon, who wrote the book about Elvis Presley.
Oh, she's the mother in The Exorcist. That's awesome.
Yeah. She's also a good friend of Lainie Kazan's.
Right. No, she's a wonderful director. In fact, she directed me in the piece that what's her name? Oh my God, that girl. Danny Thomas's
Marlo Thomas.
Yeah, so she got the Emmy for it too. It was
love it. So with Hector,
I not been the luckiest woman in the world to work with all of these people?
I think you're lucky because you've worked hard.
No. Luck has nothing to do with it. Let's say talent had everything to do with it. You know who's lucky? A few crappy actors out there that really stink. but that's not you. You have talent. You know what's nice about you? What I love about you? Your simplicity. You're not involved. You're not tinsel. You're not put on. You're so simple and charming that it goes right to the heart. It's an arrow to the heart. And that's what I found about you was the fact that you were not Hollywood or a star.
No,
you are a star, but you don't act like a star.
I mean, that's what I mean. You know
yeah.
what I mean. The star. The star.
What you mean.
Said.
And I tell you, one of the highlights in my career was working with Billy Porter.
Oh, I love it.
Pose.
Oh, in Pose, yes.
Pose, yeah.
We actually met Billy Porter. We have a friend named
Billy is a sweetie. I like him.
David. We have a friend who's a singer. Now I forgot. David Raleigh is a singer in New York, and we went to his album release party when we lived there, and Billy Porter was there, and that was really like when he was famous.
Nice fella.
That was when he was like famous, but now he's like blown up to be like the biggest star in the world practically. But he was so nice.
A nice guy. We sat most of the evening with him. Do you know Raleigh?
No. No.
Oh, you should listen to Raleigh's music.
David Raleigh, he's fabulous. Wait, I want to go back though. I want to go back
he's
to
another black. He's another black.
I want to go back to my.
That's fabulous. Oh, he's fabulous.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a singer.
He's a nightclub singer in all the chicest places in New York, and he sings a wonderful song that I love. Something blue.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it. We have all his albums. Hey, I want to go back to Hector Elizondo because so when I was single, I always made Pretty Woman is my favorite movie of all time. And I would always make everybody who I went on a date with watch Pretty Woman because if they didn't like Pretty Woman, I would be like, we could. It's funny too because Ron doesn't like Pretty Woman.
That's why he married me because he could never get me to.
But Pretty Woman is
never watch the movie.
Pretty Woman is my favorite movie of all time. Julia Roberts is like just my favorite. I don't know. There's just something about her.
The reason I never watched that movie is I know so many people that know Julia Roberts, and they said she's not nice. and that sticks in my brain. And when I look at her now, I just think of her as not a nice person to work with or to know. And you know, people should really behave. You're in the business of
Oh, hey,
people
Hector.
seeing you. Don't show them who you really are.
Well, I love
know.
Hector Elizondo because of that, and now I watch everything that he's in. But because he was in Pretty Woman, you know, I
He is the
basically
nicest man. And you know what I plan to do with him? I plan to go to his house and archive his photographs and his pictures. I really want to do an exhibition of a young Puerto Rican guy from East Harlem that made it in the business. He started out as a boxer, and then he became a dancer. And then acting was the last thing he did and blew up. But the nicest, most humble man in the world. And when I got a chance to work with him, because we did a movie, Dear God, with Gary Marshall years ago, a nice Christmas movie too. So I've been in 3 Christmas movies now. And I said, Hector, people need to know that it doesn't start at the top. It starts somewhere else. And we have documented it for other people who might have a little bit of talent or might want to cross over from one field to the other. This man is so, and his voice and his diction and his talent is incredible. So that's what I told him. I said,
funny.
Your archive is going to be my present to myself and to our friendship.
He's so
Now, you have
funny
to give
too.
me-
He's
wait,
so funny.
You have to give me a present.
What?
Yeah, I think we talked about that. You're going to introduce me to Patti LaBelle.
Well, then we have to go to Philadelphia.
I'm ready. Okay.
Okay. You love Patty?
Oh my God, we love Patti
we
LaBelle.
are very dear friends with
Kim Sledge.
Kim Sledge.
Uh-huh.
The 2 of them, Kim and Kathy.
Yes.
Kim lived one town over. I lived in Doylestown at the time in Pennsylvania, and she lived in the next town. And
Ron, you lived a lot of places.
we
Yes.
get it. Well, the cops are always chasing me. I have to be one step ahead of them. So I said to Kathy, I want you and your husband to come over for dinner. I'll make us a lovely pasta. She said, fine, Ron, I'd love it. Then she calls me back. She said, would you mind if I brought Patti LaBelle? I dropped my cell phone. They had to revive me. I said to Jimmy, I don't know what I heard. I think I had a stroke. I definitely had a stroke because I heard that Patti LaBelle's coming to our house.
Oh my
to eat.
gosh. Yeah.
He
Or
was
I
so
would have had her
excited,
sing.
but
the
we
minute,
moved.
The minute I opened the door, I'd say, okay, sister, start singing. Otherwise, you don't get fed.
Oh,
But anyway, as it turned out, Patty couldn't. And we had sold our house and we were moving and
Then we were moving here.
yeah, and we had to be here quickly not to lose this house. So
Oh.
that never happened.
So,
but-
so you didn't meet her.
No, he has not
No.
met her. We have not
Oh.
met her.
I have come close to meeting her.
We come close, but haven't gotten there yet.
No, I know a lot of my friends that know Patty.
I love Patty because Patty was so kind to my mother. When
Patty's
we
kind to
were-
everybody.
I was a production assistant, and then later on, I became a producer at Channel 13, the national the broadcasting unit, public TV in New York. And we had the only show on TV that included Black entertainers. This was back in the late 70s. And so we got everybody. And I remember when LaBelle came on. They had yes. And the 3 of them came on, and she was so sweet, not just to me, but to my mother. And you always remember people who are kind to other people.
Yes.
Not just
Absolutely.
you. That's how
Yes.
I judge people.
Absolutely.
Sometimes,
And I have heard only stories from everybody that knows her.
Yeah.
They all say the same thing.
It's
She's
all
the
true.
kindest, most generous, lovely person. And
Yeah.
I will meet her before I kick the bucket.
Oh, you will.
no,
I'll
if
find
I
out
have
when
to-
she's back in town.
I know. No, I know where she lives.
Yes.
And no, we're
Don't say that now.
No,
Don't
wait.
say that. If I
no,
say
we're moving,
No.
we're moving back to New York, and we go to Pennsylvania a lot because we have friends there. I know her street; it's a very famous street. I intend to drive down that street, go to her mansion, ring the bell, and say, "I have been waiting years to meet you."
They'll never let you
And
in.
if you slam the door in my face, I will
They'll
kill you.
never let you in.
Don't
They'll think
take
you're like.
his
No,
fantasy
I'm gonna
away.
say-
I know. He just has to have that, though.
Don't
He has to
take
have
his
that.
And I will
fantasy
say,
away.
if you don't talk to me, I'm going to kill myself on your steps.
So no. So I want to make a comment about you though, because one thing about you, you've had, just by looking at your because I don't know what that Amen show is. I've never actually saw that show.
You have to look at one or two episodes.
Jimmy,
I absolutely will, because
Jimmy,
if he
it
likes
is
it, I
so
know
well
I like it.
written.
But
Yeah,
that
it
means
is.
you.
Wait a minute. Way before its time, the messages were subtle, but enough for some dummies to
Yes.
get. I don't know
Yeah.
who. I mean,
Yeah.
back in those days, there weren't too many
Hang on, wait, 'cause
pro-black
you're taking
people.
you're taking that out of my thing though. So
No,
like,
we have to get real about it. But it showed the world.
it had George Jefferson in it, right? In that picture, it looked
Yeah,
like
Wait a
Sherman
minute.
Hemsley.
Yeah, Sherman
Yeah,
Hemsley. Yeah,
Sher-
I've met him. He's super nice.
Yeah. Well, he's
But
no
it
longer
was,
here.
it was,
Yes,
it was,
he's
I
it
met him a
was,
long
from
time
Yemen.
ago. Yes.
it
Yes.
was early black TV showing the world what
Yes.
black people really like.
Yes. Yes.
I love it.
And it was received beautifully.
Well, the reason I
I
brought it
raised
up,
my kids on that show. We used to lay in the den on the rug, put your show on. My daughter Leslie loves you. She wrote it on my
Oh.
Facebook page. Yeah, she said, "Oh, Daddy, I love her." My
Oh,
daughter's
thank
54. She still
you.
calls me Daddy. No, Leslie does because she grew up with your show. And
Oh,
anytime
so she
that
was
you
like
were,
a little Thelma too.
she was
Grown
no,
women.
no. She was about 7 or 8, 9 maybe.
No, but in terms of calling little girls who have their daddies and who still call them daddies,
yes,
it's a very affectionate,
Yeah,
very
she's
affectionate.
very
it's
Well,
your
affectionate.
first love.
people laugh at it because she's 54.
It
And when
doesn't
we're,
make any difference
No,
how old
but-
you're still her daddy.
but
That's right.
we're out in
You're
public.
right.
No, we're out in public, and she'll say, "Oh, Daddy, get me something, a Coca-Cola." I say, "Leslie, can't call me Daddy in public." she said, "Like hell, I won't." Of course, I will.
So I want to go back though, because what year
Wait,
was
I wanna
what year?
add- wait,
wait,
I'm-
no, I was in the middle and you
I'm
interrupted. What was
excited. I can't
Amen?
help
What
I'm
year was
excited.
Amen? In the late 70s.
86 to 91 or 92. We
Oh.
had 5 seasons.
Okay, so basically,
Oh, wait a minute. So Leslie was 16, 15, and 16 when we watched it.
okay, so either way, in the 80s, so
Yeah.
that means your 80s, so 85 is 15, so that's like 35 years ago, and you don't look like you aged a day.
No,
Well, thank you.
which is
It
so
went
hard.
hard. I just love more men now than I did back then. I had a few men then, but now I have many that I loved.
That's
see
good.
that? Lucky you.
That's a
Now-
big
now,
difference.
Everybody
As long
wants.
as long as you're in love with somebody, you don't age.
I
Okay.
believe that.
I
I believe
believe
that.
that.
Oh,
And you
Hello?
always
Now,
look,
Anna,
you always
Anna,
look
wait, Anna.
fantastic.
thank you.
Everybody wants to know, where are you from?
New York City, Harlem,
Where in Harlem?
122nd and 123rd on Lenox Avenue.
Okay, I know it well.
Yes.
Actually,
I used to go up to Harlem a lot. I
Where
went.
did you go?
I'll tell you. I went to see Mars Mabley. Was it
Oh yes, when she
The
used
old
to be
lady
in the
with-
Apollo.
That's right, the old lady without teeth.
Right.
I sat there. I could have peed myself. She was
yeah.
the funniest of funny people. We used to
Yes.
go to the Apollo to see the Platters.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, everybody perform. All the black performers at the.
I used to
Jo-
always watch the
Johnny
TV
Mantis
show.
never got there. I don't think because
No.
if he was, I would have been making out with him. But no, I love when people.
That's his absolute
Oh, yeah.
favorite. Johnny Mathis is his favorite
But
singer of all time.
I've met Johnny 3 times.
We would have to call you a slut, Ron. Because
Oh, yeah.
you
No,
love a
no,
lot
no,
of
no.
people, and a lot of black people. Okay? Something's wrong with you.
I've
Something
met.
is wrong with you. Too
No,
much
I'm-
love. No, that's why
Johnny
you look
Mathis
so
and
good.
Cary Grant. Those
No,
are his two.
No, I met Johnny 3 times.
Oh,
Oh yeah, and
I would
Johnny.
love to meet him. Yeah.
Oh, he's a doll. He's very shy. He's very
Yeah.
sweet. He's very soft spoken, and he doesn't like to be handled. Because I gave him a big hug, and he gave me a dirty look. And I
Oh.
said, "Oh, what's a dirty look for?" I said, "I love you. I can't help it." And then he smiled. He said, "Hug me again." So he's a sweet. I met him in the supermarket. We were shopping together. And no, this is true. And I said to him, "Johnny, how come nobody's coming over to you?" He said, "They don't know who I am." I said, "Are you kidding? Johnny Mantis, the greatest singer in the world." Now we're at the checkout. And I said to the checkout boy, "Do you know who this is?" He said, "No." I said, "This is Johnny Mantis." He said, "Well, how do you do, Johnny Mantis?" He didn't know who Johnny was either. So on the way out, I said to Johnny, "It's amazing. You've sold more records than Frank Sinatra. You're the greatest singer in the world, the most famous man as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned." He said, "Ron, they only know me from years ago. The young don't know who I am."
But we know his voice.
I don't think
We
they know
his
that
voice.
either.
Oh, with the songs,
His voice
yes.
is in all of our nervous system. Because when that man sings, there's something that happens to you.
Everybody
you
got
don't have-
pregnant.
You don't,
That's what happened. Everybody got knocked up in the back seat of the car when Johnny was on. What are you kidding?
his
He-
voice.
I swear to God, he's responsible for more babies than anybody I know.
He has something in his voice that just makes you stop and
He's
open
heavenly.
this thing up.
He's heavenly.
We have every
Bring
record.
your
Ron's
heart
got
up,
every
and
one.
it is heavenly. And I mean, back then, this man had a hit every 3 or 4 months.
Every
Every
song.
3 or 4 months. So we might not know how he looked because remember, a lot of those guys didn't do a lot of TV.
Right.
You know, there wasn't a lot of places for the entertainment, for especially black entertainment. Johnny wasn't considered a black singer. He was considered a singer. That's how.
for him,
I
yes.
thought he was a hot guy. Period.
Well, he was gorgeous. He was young and
Gorgeous.
he was
And
pretty.
when he
but
was
that-
young,
voice.
he had a
Yeah.
body on him. He was a hottie.
Oh,
So hold
who
on.
discovered Johnny? I don't know who discovered Johnny.
All I know is that he was a church singer,
Oh,
and his father was kind of not happy with his going out to be a singer, and somebody, a producer somewhere, got him. And his first record, I believe, was "Some Quiet Evening We Stop." What the hell was that song? I know the lyrics. I don't know the title.
yeah.
But anyway, that was his first song. And he went on the Ed Sullivan Show. I was 16 years
Yeah.
old when I saw him, and I fell in love with him at that time.
Yeah.
And I followed his career all his life. Johnny is 4 years older than I am. And I look forward to seeing him. I met him up in Simi Valley at the golf club. We lunched with a bunch of people at the same table. He was quiet. He didn't talk a lot, but he was there. He didn't ignore us. He was every moment in the moment. He just didn't have too much
Let
to
me
say.
tell you, I love the way how he handled when his house burned down. And he
Yes.
lost all of the archives and the this and
Yes.
that. But he stood there outside. He says, I'm still here.
Yes,
I'm
and you
still
know what?
here.
You know what? I found out about him.
What?
I shouldn't say this. He never cared much for Diana Ross,
Oh,
and Diana Ross built a house up at Sunset Plaza Drive where he
Yes.
lived, right in front of him, so tall that she blocked his view of the ocean.
oh. Is that
And-
why he didn't like her?
No, he didn't like her because Diana Ross said Johnny Mathis did everything but steal my dresses.
She's speechless.
That's a
Anyway,
little tea we didn't know.
Well, you know what? Johnny and Diana at the time were the top entertainers. The Supremes were like Supreme, and Johnny was Supreme. And I think there was a bit of jealousy on Diana's part because she never really made the money or the albums that he did. He has 1 million albums out.
Yeah, but he had a voice too.
yes.
Yeah, well, Diana Ross sounded like every other little girl from a project screaming.
Yeah.
You know.
And she was a baby. She was 16. I think one of the problems is a lot of young people don't study the history many times of people who came before them.
Absolutely
No, but
right.
some people are just bitches. No, because listen to me. I can't say who, but a relative of Barry Gordy's came to our house for dinner with another friend of ours. And we spoke of Diana Ross. And after some of the stories she told me, I liked her even less. She's not a nice person. She's not you.
Well, she's Aries. Aries are a little different.
No,
you know?
she's-
What are you?
no. You know what's
I'm
wrong?
a
with-
Li-
You know
I'm
what?
Libra.
You know what's wrong with Diana Ross?
What?
She's a black woman who thinks she's white and she's a racist.
No, she's not a racist.
She thinks she's white. She only marries white men. She only wants to live in a white
well, the
world.
one man that she wanted to marry wouldn't marry her.
Yeah, that was sad.
No, but he knocked her up.
They did. I mean, they don't necessarily want to marry you. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's
If
terrible
she had
too.
married him, her life would have been different. She would have been nice.
Well,
Yeah, I
I-
bet you're right. I think you're right.
No, but I have I have a personal story, but it's a long one, so I
No,
won't
I don't want to
go
go
into
into that.
it. Where
anyway.
where she
Well,
We only
Jimmy
wanna talk
doesn't
about-
want
She
to
was a
hear
bit-
that
I only
story.
want to talk about nice
Wait,
things
yeah,
because
but
this
this
is
is-
not a
this
nice
Talk
story.
about me.
No, this is a nice story.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about. I
No,
want
wait,
to
this
talk
is a
about
nice
her.
story. She abused a bunch of gay people, caught street in a gay bar. That's a very nice story.
No, it's not.
The fans
So
that made her,
anyway-
the gay men that made her, she abused them.
I want to go back to Anna now.
What? The gay
Time
men
to-
who what? Who
Who
married
made
her?
her? Gay
Oh,
men
no,
love
yeah,
Diana
yeah,
Ross. I
yeah,
mean, every
yeah.
queen I know sings. They're
So-
all in
Oh,
drag
yeah,
doing
no, they
Diana.
wanted to be Diana Ross. Are you kidding?
I know
Come on.
that.
Come
I
on,
loved
yeah.
her voice. I loved her
But is
music.
it abuse or maybe she didn't know? Because you're talking about worldwide attention. Many human beings are not trained on how to deal with that kind of
Fame.
their persona,
Yeah.
persona that big. That's why God doesn't let you see how wonderful you are. I went to a Stevie Wonder concert years ago,
Oh my
and
God.
there was like 100,000 people in the stadium, and everybody had a candle, and they were singing the words to his song. And I thought, wow, thank God this boy can't see it, because it's overwhelming. You don't know what to do when people say, oh, I sold 100 million records. We can't imagine 100 million people knowing and liking us. The mind can't work that way. You know, you have money. We say, oh, I have $1 million, but I don't know what 1 million people look like.
Well,
Even
I can,
Yeah, I
me.
think you're right.
Well,
No,
I-
you're
on
right.
TV.
I
I
could,
don't know whose life I affected. Somebody said, oh, I start dressing different after I kept seeing you on all the shows. And I said, really? Because we're still surprised. I affected you. You don't
Well,
know.
Anna.
You don't get that kind of information. So Diana might have been, she's a girl from the projects, and she was young. He trained all of those singers.
I
They
agree.
don't know how to deal with it.
I agree. But I want to say something. We have over 5 million people all over the world watching you now.
Wow.
And from now on, I want you to call me Mr. Russell. Nothing
Jimmy,
went to my
what
head.
do you do with him? What
I'm
do
just
you
used
do
to
with him?
You know what? I'm just like used to it. So I would
Listen,
actually hang on. Wait.
I have to have a hug from her. When am I going to see you?
Oh, well, we're still talking to her, so you don't have to worry
I
about
love
that. So listen. So first of all, I want to know, because you came from a good family. Your family seems supportive from what I read online,
Oh, yeah.
and that your mom knew that you were destined for great things, and you went to school in Sweden. Like, what made you go to school in Sweden? Was that
I
real?
go
Maybe
to
that's not even
school in
real.
Sweden. I went to Sweden to find myself because I used to love to watch Ingmar Bergman's movies.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
And let me tell you, the best thing that happened to my life this week, I finally met Liv Ullmann, the woman that inspired
Oh,
me
yeah. Sure.
to go to Sweden. When you're in high school, you see all the foreign films, and this woman I thought was the most incredible, beautiful actress in the world. Of course, I didn't realize that we did look a little different. So when I decided to advance my career, I said, I have to go to Sweden, because that's the kind of acting I wanted to do. And this week at the Governor's Ball, my dear friend Samuel Jackson got an honorary Oscar.
Love him. Good for him.
Liv she got an Oscar, and they were standing on stage, and I went over to take a picture of him, and I said, Sam, you must tell Liv, Miss Ullmann, that she inspired me to become the kind of actress I did. And she walked over. She said, really? I said, yes. I said, I even moved to Sweden to do what you were doing. And God is so funny. He gave me a prize because he got me. Ingmar was dead by the time I grew up and I was in the business, but
Right.
I got to work with Sven Nykvist, who was his lighting designer and did all of his movies. I did a movie with him, and I said, I dreamed about working with you. And look, the dream came true. So I met Liv and Sven. So life is interesting.
I love it.
If you dream and hard enough, I believe, and if
Yes.
you wish hard enough. As
Yes.
a young kid, I was madly in love with Sophia Loren growing up as a teenager.
Yeah.
Well, I made a movie with Sophia. My very first movie I was in was titled That Kind of Woman with Tab Hunter, who
Okay.
Tab remained my lifelong friend until he passed away.
Wow.
And Sophia was I was 19, she was 26. And I couldn't even, I played a soldier. I mean, I followed her around, and I thought they were going to arrest me for, what is it called when you chase somebody? What do you call it? Stalking. Well,
Yeah.
I wound up sitting next to her in George Sanders' chair, and I began speaking to her in Italian, and she starts to laugh. She said, my name is Rolando. She said, Rolando, your Italian is as bad as my English. So we had but we spoke. She spoke
Yes.
half-ass English. I spoke half-ass Italian.
Yeah.
She was absolutely charming. We
But
did
isn't
4.
that wonderful when you meet somebody that you dream about?
Oh, I
or-
was madly in love. What dream? I wanted to marry her. Run to
Yeah,
Italy.
life is wonderful. You are a very romantic man.
I'm
And you
Italian.
stay in love.
I'm Italian. Sophia Loren was the most beautiful woman in the
Yeah.
world.
Oh gosh.
Those
she
eyes.
was
When I
hot,
looked at
yeah.
her eyes, I used to melt. So
Wow.
we did 4 days, Central Park one day and Grand Central Station one day. And when the movie was over, I was heartbroken. It was like she divorced me. I went
She
in,
kissed him and he didn't wash his face
yes,
for a month.
when she said,
Oh my
no,
gosh.
she kissed me on this cheek, like Italian style, and a little bit of her pink lipstick was there. I ran home. My mother wasn't home. I ran to my Aunt Millie's house. My cousin Bertha was there. I ran in screaming, "Look, Sophia kissed me. Look at her lipstick." I'll never forget that. And my mother said, "Oh, grow up." I said, "Grow up." My mother was a tough New Yorker.
So
She said,
anyway,
grow up.
I want to go. Okay. So you have all these like wonderful projects, and something I always like to ask actors and actresses.
I just want to say something. See, folks, the night at the Penthouse, this is how we behaved and spoke. Now you know why I'm so crazy about it.
Absolutely. So, okay. So you've done so many things over the last 30 or 40 years. Really, I mean, because really big things like every movie you're in practically is like an A+ list movie with the biggest stars in the world.
Yes, but Jimmy, I'm
along with you.
interrupting you.
No, don't interrupt.
No, I am. When are you putting her in a movie that I'm in so I could play opposite?
I'm
her?
working on that. Okay.
See that? I
I'm
want to
working
work
on
with
that.
you, Anna. I need that on film.
Uh,
So when I'm dead, they'll have history. Will have Ron Russell working with Anna.
Anna Maria Horst. I love it.
That's right.
I love it.
So let's so bucket list, male and female actor that you have not had an opportunity to work with, which I know your list is like incredibly long with who you've worked with, but who are 2 people that you think, oh my God, I'd really love to work with these people and I have not worked with them yet? And then number 2, if you could have been in any movie that's ever been made in history, what movie would you have liked to have been in?
Oh gosh, I try to live with no regret, which is all the movies that I didn't get a part in. I said, I guess I wasn't supposed to meet them yet.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I really
I
do.
No,
believe
but this question is more of like a fantasy, not one that you auditioned for and didn't get in. Just like, what's a movie like? Oh my God, I would have loved to have been in A Christmas Carol, or oh my God, just thinking back as fun. This isn't like a
anything with Ingmar Bergman.
okay, that's
I mean,
good.
Yeah. There's certain actors that you just want a moment. Now I've worked with Meryl. Again, see, it's interesting because the most interesting thing for me is not the end of the movie. It's the conversation that we have when we're filming the movie.
Yes.
I remember on the set with Mickey Rooney, he started telling stories about old Hollywood and what they used to do to him and Judy Garland and the kids when they were filming. Not nice stories now, not
Yes.
nice stories. And you sit there and say, oh, wow. I mean, that kind of history, you go, oh, he said, if you missed your lines too many times, they would put you in a big box, like a moving box, a little black box with no light. And you had to stay in there for a few minutes until you would concentrate enough
To
to
remember
get
your
your
lines.
line. And
Ron would be in trouble.
whoa.
He'd be in the box all day.
Well, I'm 81.
Oh,
At
but
80,
can
you know.
imagine? I mean, again, you start listening, you start hearing the reality of what all these human beings went through to pay the price to entertain us. Not to say they shouldn't and what, but those are the moments that I love. Now, who has a secret that I would like to know? I don't know. I have to think about that. I'm going to think about that, Jimmy, because I never thought about it before.
Okay.
Okay, while you're thinking about that, Jane Russell was my best friend forever. We hung out together. Jane Russell.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Jane and I would have long talks at night by the fire, and she would talk about old Hollywood. And I said, what was it about Hollywood that made you hate the business so much?
Oh.
She said, well, they wanted me to bend over, pick up a bucket, and the camera was there. They wanted me to bend over. They wanted me to roll over. They wanted me to go without a bra. They wanted me to wear a blouse that got wet. She was so sick and tired of Howard Hughes and everybody exploiting her bosoms.
Yeah.
Jane, what size bra were you? And she said a 36B.
No.
Yeah, that's all she was. If you watch my interview on YouTube, you'll hear Jane say it. She was a 36B.
And those were considered big tits then?
Well, yes, indeed. And they exploited her. and they never gave her a chance to be the actress
The
that she
actress,
was.
yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
and she was sad about that. Then she told me stories about Judy Garland's suicide attempt. A lot of Hollywood stuff that I'll never reveal some of it because
Yeah.
it's really too gross. You know, I
Yeah.
don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But Hollywood then was no picnic, and it still isn't a picnic.
It's not a pig. I mean, I don't think, people see the good, they see the end of the movie.
Right, exactly.
Very few people get to see the beginning of the movie.
And,
Right.
and during the movie, the
And-
make
and
of the
right.
movie.
But it's sacrifice. I mean, we pick. It's the only career you can join without an invitation, and you can leave and retire without sending a notice to anybody. It's on you how much the human spirit can take. How much a lot of these people got into it because they were supporting families. And you think about little kids, okay, that have to support an entire household. And even though you want to play with your friends outside, you say no. What's
You
his
have to
name?
study.
Gary Coleman was saying, they wouldn't let me play. Todd Bridges told me one time, he says, we couldn't have play dates. And because he had just gotten, he had a double organ transplant. And the parents were scared that if he wrestled or if he played this or played too rough, you might interfere with his medical condition.
Right.
So part of it is they're trying to keep him alive. And the other part is he's still a little boy. You can't say we're scared because you're supposed to die by the time you're 19.
Right.
Okay.
Well, we have a friend. What's his name? The one that was sexually abused, the kid actor. Our friend, the kid actor who was sexually abused. The famous one. He was on our show.
Well, a lot of people have been
No,
sexually
this-
Oh, Corey Feldman. Corey
Feldman
Oh, yeah.
is a darling friend of ours.
Yeah.
And I forgot his name. I apologize. It's Corey. Anna.
Well, you're forgetting a few names today, so he'll forgive you. But
No,
go on.
Anna. I'm on the air 14 years or more.
Yeah.
I have interviewed over 4,000 people.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
cannot remember names anymore because my brain can't tolerate it. So I apologize to
Right.
anyone. It's not because the lack of your stardom that I forgot. It's just because I'm
No.
old.
Nobody
You know.
should be that
Anyway,
sensitive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Corey Feldman has come up with stories about what they did to him in television.
Wow.
Drug him up, pump him up, make him work. It was hideous.
Yeah.
That was still
Same
happening.
kind of stories that you hear about Judy Garland and all those kind of people nowadays.
but not in these days. These days, I thought there was laws about it.
Well, they're laws, but they're still parents and there's still money. People still greedy. You know what I mean? People are still greedy. They make sure you have your schooling because Gary claims that he should have been more educated than he was. But again, are we mad at the parents because nobody who had double or triple organ transplants lived beyond 19. And I remember he was doing a commercial and the word must have gotten out to him and he kept stopping one sentence, which was about his future. And finally he broke down and started crying and everybody's saying, what happened? What happened? So we don't know because we're still, as you said in the beginning, we're still human.
Yes.
Regardless of
human.
how much fame, how much money you make,
Yeah,
we are
well-
still human.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
And
though,
life and death is scary to everybody who comes to earth because we don't know. We go to sleep tonight. I hope I wake up in the morning. I told God he had to keep me alive until I did Jimmy and Ron show. I said, listen,
we want you
And
to
I'm
live
gonna-
forever. We
but
want
I
you to be
have
around
to do this
forever.
show today.
I
Okay.
am I'm saying to God, I want you to keep me alive so I could hug this girl.
Yes. Yeah.
Now
and work
listen.
with her in
Now listen,
Jimmy's
when-
movie.
That's
In
right.
Jimmy's movie.
When you were absolutely.
Yes.
When you were young and quite beautiful,
Yes.
did you have to go through the sexual encounters or whatever it was that they wanted you to do? Like, sleep with me and you'll get the part.
No, I never slept with anybody unless I wanted to, and there was nobody in showbiz.
Good. That was
No.
smart. That was smart.
Well, you know what? I think predators know who to bother.
Yes, I think
I
you're
agree
right.
with that. They know who's
I
looking
think
for
they
it.
know who to get. If
Yeah.
you're talking about a little child from Harlem, had a big gap in my mouth, I thought I was cute. And no, we don't do that. We don't do that. And it's not even, it doesn't go in your mind. I was so focused on, I wanted to be an actress. I remember one time a guy was at a club and he tried to hit me and I grabbed his hand. I said, oh no, I might go to Hollywood. You can't touch my face. No, let's slow it down.
I love
was
it.
So really, I was so into this just in case. A friend of mine, when they were going through the drug age, I never did drugs. And a girlfriend of mine, she said, we went to this orgy. Do you want to go? I said, oh, no. In case, I'm not sure, but in case I become a star, I don't want anybody to blackmail me because then I have to pay somebody else to kill them. So no. So
You're one tough girl from Harlem.
Well,
You're one
and
tough
I never
boy.
got into a fight, but I always had this thought, just in case. I wasn't sure I was going to become one, but just in case I become famous, I don't want no foolishness. So I didn't go to a lot of parties. Never did drugs, never drank. I said, no. I was saving myself for the dream I had in my head.
That's so funny. I love that because
Well, it came true.
I will see. I'm not. I wasn't an actor, but I grew up thinking that if I did drugs and I drank, because I was relatively intelligent in school. Like I graduated like 5th in my class, and my parents would tell me
in Florida, in New York, he would have been last.
No, I went to University of Florida. It's a great school.
Anyway, the worst school system in the world.
I graduate, but my parents would tell me things though, like, if you do drugs, it'll kill your brain cells. And already I was upset that I was number 5 and I wasn't number 1 and that there was 4 people better.
Yeah, but
so I never did any drugs, and still I never, even now.
And
I
was told if you masturbate, you're going to go blind. That's not true. Jimmy, where are you? Jimmy, where are you, Jimmy? Where's the TV screen? Is Anna on the screen now, Jimmy? I can't see.
You gotta love that though. So what do you have coming? What do you have coming up? Yes. What do you have coming up?
What am I going to see next?
I have one more movie coming out called Me Time with Kevin Hart and Regina Hall.
Oh, very good.
I play her mother. John Amos and I play her mother. I mean, John Amos, he plays her dad, her parents. And that, I don't know when that's coming out, but we just finished it a couple months ago.
Okay.
So look out for that one. I don't know if Be Positive got picked up yet. We don't know.
What is it called?
Sure
Be Positive.
Be Positive?
Uh-huh.
I'm in a movie that we're going to shoot soon called O Positive.
No,
it's not. No, it's not.
O negative.
It's type O negative.
Sorry. Wrong blood type.
You gotta love it. So how did you because we didn't see when it came out, The Bitch Who Stole Christmas. Were you happy with it?
I loved every second.
We know it'll come out at Christmas again, so we'll see it when it comes out.
I loved every second of it. And I have to tell you, working with RuPaul, because Ru came in at the end and shot all of her scenes, so we had to go over the scene. She had a stand-in before because she was still doing Drag Race.
Right.
And so she came at the end, so we had to do all of her scenes. And he is the most incredible human being who is so grateful for everything that has happened to his life.
Good for him.
You know what I mean?
Well, let me tell you something.
Yes.
Years ago, I did drag on Nightclub. I impersonated Jane Russell. That's how we got to meet. And back in my day, drag queens were beaten up. You were beaten up. You had to be careful if you got in drag before your performance. And also during your performance, you were worried that somebody in the audience would get up and beat you up on the... Yeah, they'd beat you up or throw a beer bottle at you and scar you. Yeah, there were a lot of men out there who were straight and suddenly got turned on by
it. If they came to the club to see you.
Yeah.
No.
He performed in straight clubs.
Straight clubs. And they came with their wives to see you, and they
like dinner clubs, supper clubs.
And sometimes they got an erection from you, and they couldn't deal with it.
He was gorgeous.
In other words, why? I'm a man, straight. Why am I getting an erection from another man in a dress? So they became hostile and angry. And sometimes, if there were a gang of guys, they'd meet you outside on the way to the car, beat you up. So we always had to have security. That's why RuPaul is grateful, because today he's a respected female illusionist who is respected.
And you know what? We went to RuPaul's convention. He has these big conventions that he does, and we had press passes, so we didn't have to wait in line. And when I tell you that there was 8 or 10 blocks of people lined up outside to go meet RuPaul, and everybody said that he was incredibly fabulous.
RuPaul has put drag
on the map
into theater.
Yeah. legitimate.
He took it out of being a weird faggot dressed as a girl
Wow.
into being a performer.
But wait a minute. Tell me, how did you protect yourself? I mean,
Well,
did the clubs give you security
I'm
or what?
no, I'm from Brooklyn,
Ron would
and
punch people.
I grew up with famous people like Gotti people. You know what I mean? And and my father was very good friends with a lot of people, and the clubs that I worked in, they were notified who I was, and they would never tell my father. And I warned them to never tell my father
Right,
what
right,
I
right.
do.
Right.
I had protection. One time I was working the Town and Country Club in Brooklyn, and I was assaulted by a man who ripped my gown trying to grab a breast.
My
And
gosh.
and I told him, I said, listen, if you tear my tits off, you could bring them home, cut the bags open, pour the lentils in water, cook for an hour, and you make a nice soup.
Jesus.
I mean, that's what my tits were, bags of lentils, you know.
Wait, you made your own tits?
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course. Of course.
You should see him in drag. He
Oh,
looks
I really look good.
he's smoking hot in drag.
I was skinny and young. Who's not smoking when you're skinny and young?
wow.
And then another time I had a guy drive me to my car, and he wanted certain things done from me. And I said, listen, Buster, forget it. And the guy persisted, so I beat him up. In drag. I did, in the
Boy,
car.
see, yeah.
As
Yeah.
he was driving, I punched him on the side of the face, the temple, and then I proceeded to beat him and kick him. I had big spiky high heels on, and I punctured his left lung, I think, with one of my heels.
Unbelievable. But it gave young people, I think this is what, for me, the power of RuPaul's acceptance. It made young people who felt this thing in them that they might not have known what it was, whether it's gay or drag or something. It made them understand that they weren't the only one.
And that they had a right to be.
And they had a right to live,
You know.
because the idea of this young people committing suicide is
Oh,
devastating to me.
Now you're
Terrible.
Now that's my cause. I'm a great.
Yes.
I fight it all the time. I talk about suicide to all the young people all
Yes.
the time. I was never a woman or thought of being a woman.
Right.
In fact, when I took my drag off, I would go in the shower, look down, and say, "Hi, boys." I was happy to see the jewels. I never thought of changing. I never lived. I never lived as a woman. I
Right.
only became Jane on stage.
Right.
So I understand some of my fellow workers. One in particular, this guy was gorgeous as a woman, and he lived as a woman. And
Yeah.
he used to talk to me in between rehearsals and stuff. And I'd say, "But what makes you think you're a woman?" He said, "I am a woman." I said, "No, you got a dick." He said, "Yes, I have that, and I don't like it. And I wish it was gone." He said, "I am a woman." I said, "How's that?" He said, "Well, I don't think like you, Ron." He said, "You take off your costume and you're a guy. If I took off my dress and stuff, I'm still a woman."
Right.
And he behaved like a woman, and he was beautiful. Gray, his name was Michael Gray. That was his name. Stunningly beautiful drag queen.
Wow.
We gotta go. So
Wow.
Jimmy has to talk.
oh, real quick, no. I just wanted to mention the RuPaul thing because I was a clothing designer for like 25 years. I had stores all over Florida, and I dressed a lot of entertainers. That's how I met so many entertainers.
Yeah.
And for me, Clueless, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Clueless.
Yeah.
But for my age demographic, that was like the fashion movie of like, you know, because they wore all the stuff. And RuPaul had a song. That's how I first found out about RuPaul, is he had songs on the soundtrack. Work It, Girl, You Better Work. That. And so like ever since then, I've been a huge fan. I've met him several times, and always very gracious to all the fans. And everybody who supports him. So I think he's fabulous.
A gracious human being. You find out how people deal with their celebrityism or their stardom. What if they're pretty bitchy to their audience? They were pretty bitchy before they became the star.
Yes, I think you're right.
A lot of people, you don't really make a change.
I think you're right.
Well, I have to defend that. So many people came from poverty, families that did drugs, drank, smoked, were crude, rude, ignorant,
super religious.
Yeah, super religious.
or just nonsense. And these people grew up wounded,
Yes.
disliked. They felt like shit. Nobody liked them. They were common. They were low class. They were trash. Now they become superstars.
right.
They have mansions. They live in limousines.
Yeah.
Of course, it goes to your head. I wish it would
But
go to
some
my
don't
head.
forget the pain that they experienced.
You're right about
Because
that.
they
Some
are.
people still live with that pain, and they strike out when
They-
the
look,
time
look.
comes.
Marilyn Monroe lived with that pain all of
Yeah.
her life.
Yeah.
That she was
Well,
sexually abused as a
Well,
child.
her mother was insane too.
Right. But she
And
was
a lot of
an
times-
abused child.
A lot of times, it's painful when you don't have the right parenting. And not to blame parents for everything, but
She
if
was
a
a foster
person is-
child.
yeah,
know,
if
she-
your mother's mentally ill, all you want is your mother to get well. All of us want mommy to get well.
You're right
We
about
all
That
that.
was
want-
not Marilyn's case. Jane Russell made a movie with Marilyn Monroe called Gentlemen Prefer Blondes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they were friendly. So I used to quiz Jane about Marilyn. And Jane would say to me, Ron, she was a very sick person. You have no idea how really bad she was. She was so sensitive. We were forewarned on the set. Be careful what you say in front of her. Don't make her feel like she's not doing the dance step right. Because Jane
Lord.
said they were 6 weeks into rehearsal. Neither one had danced. Jane had sung before, but Marilyn had never. So Marilyn now is in a movie where she has to sing and dance. And Jane said she used to throw up before a shot.
Oh my
She
gosh.
would run in her dressing room crying because she dropped the lines over and over again. She was an impossibility to work with, but Jane Russell, being a Christian woman, had a good heart and sort of took her under her wing. But Jane Russell said to me, Ron, Marilyn Monroe was far more screwed up than people know. It
Yeah.
was beyond her being abused. She was really, she was a mess. She was a mess.
So everybody, this is Anna Maria Horsford. She's on Instagram. It's at Anna Maria Horsford, ANNAMARIAHORSFORD. She's been in every fabulous thing that you've ever seen on the planet. You guys see how wonderful she is on the show. Please go out and watch all of her stuff and support her and everything she does, because she's just wonderful. We want to thank you for coming on the show.
And you're coming back.
And I'm producing 9 movies, and when I get to the money ready and I get to a point where I can cast you, I totally would love to work with you. I think you're fabulous.
Keep up the energy.
Oh, that's just
because what else are we going to do? Sit in Palm Springs and rot with the oranges? Get out of here! It's so friggin' boring here.
Oh, real quick. I don't know if I had you say hi. Just say hi to everybody in the chat rooms.
Hi, chat room people.
So there's a lot of people in there. Yeah, there you go.
Listen,
Perfect.
you all are following the right men. That's all I can tell you.
Oh, there you go.
And we're the right men that have the right guests.
That's right, because you're fabulous.
I love that. I'm so happy I'm able to do it today. I cannot tell you.
We're very happy too.
I'm happier than you are, my sweetie.
Oh, all right.
I really am.
This was a wonderful discussion. I learned a lot.
It was a visit. It was a lovely visit.
Yeah, I felt like, okay.
And everybody enjoyed it, and I know they want it again. Because
Thank you, my darling.
when nice people get together, we have a nice show.
Yes,
absolutely. We love it.
Now, Anna, you got a guy in your life, a man, a boyfriend?
No, but the strangest thing? Every man I've been with is calling me this week. They must have put my name or something on Instagram to say, if you ever slept with Anna, call her this week. It is the weirdest thing. I mean, years ago, they're calling, is this my Anna? And I don't bring up stories of why we broke up.
Right.
But it is so wonderful to remember the good part when it was good.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them were good.
Maybe you'll rekindle it.
Maybe, who knows? Which one?
Or maybe you'll just Tinder it for one night.
We don't know, but there's somebody I've been in love with for a long time, and we're just friends. But I think, who knows? Maybe one day I'll put a.
Well, why don't
we're gonna put it out there?
Wait, why don't you tell him you're in love with him?
No, he knows it, but he's a little nervous about me.
Well, then he must be
they
gay.
can't
He
watch
must
you
be
on
gay.
TV too long.
He has to be gay if he's not in love with you.
Maybe that's another angle. Who knows? But I love everybody. I love it. You can be whatever you want to be, sweetheart.
There you go. We love you. Thank you so much, Anna. We'll see you soon.
I love you so much.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
darling. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Bye-bye. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
This is my sweet.
Oh God.
See you.
She's
I love that.
fabulous.
I love that lady so much. I cannot tell you, folks. She is the most delicious, delightful, warm, heart-loving, talented, beautiful woman. I consider her a dear friend.
So now we're going to bring on our next guest.
Yep.
Come on in, everybody. Let's see.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hey.
Hi, we got a twosome.
Hi. How are you guys? So, Isabel, I have a question.
Yes.
Before I introduce you, how do I properly pronounce your last name? Is it Karnstein or Karnstein?
It's Isabella Karnstein, and it actually comes from a trip, like a series of 60 horror movies. Do you guys know Hammer Horror?
Yes, I absolutely very well, actually.
Yeah, so Hammer Horror had a series of vampire movies, which they covered the book Carmilla. And Carmilla Karnstein was the main character. And I grew up and I loved those movies. It was just like 70s perfection. And so that's where I took on my name from. Karnstein.
I love it.
Well, that's German? Steen is Jewish. Stein is German. Or did I get it backwards?
Karnstein, yeah. It's basically originally in the story, it was written by Sheridan LaFanu, who was an Irish author.
But the pronunciation of the name, Stein is a Jewish person. Steen is Jewish. Stein is German. Am I right?
Yeah, Karnstein. That's correct.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, you guys. So now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the incredibly talented and super cool Isabella Karnstein and Michael Corvus. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So before I introduce you to everybody, this is Ron. He's our cool, outrageous man about town co-host.
Yes.
Hello, Ron.
Hi, Ron.
Hi. Did you guys hear any of the previous show with Anna?
Yes,
Yeah,
we listened
yes,
to it.
that's
It was
right.
so
Is
good.
she not the most delicious person in the
No,
world?
but she's so talented too.
And
I was
so
looking up
sweet
some of
and
her
so
acting.
loving and so kind.
Yeah, she's been in everything.
I-
This is Astro,
Yeah.
our dog. This is Astro, one of our dogs.
So now,
Oh,
Hang
what
on, wait,
kind of-
wait,
what kind of dog are you?
And we have a chat room full of people, so please say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
It's
Teresa?
funny
Yeah.
because already they're in there saying, people are in there saying, love your accent. What a beautiful couple. Mike
Oh,
Wagner's
thank you.
there from the Mike Wagner show saying hello.
Oh, hey, Mike.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And,
and,
so there's a lot of
5
people.
million people all over the world. We mustn't forget that.
Beautiful.
That's
And
our
they're,
viewing
and they're
audience.
extremely everybody's extremely complimentary on how fabulous. So a lot of the people already know
Well,
who you are.
I'm loving her hair, and I'm going to ask her a
Thank you.
personal question. You have extensions in that, or is
I
that
do
all
not
yours?
right now. You know what?
That
It's
you got
funny.
a gorgeous head of
Usually
hair.
I do extensions, and I was feeling that
You don't need them. Look at your head of hair. I used to be a
Thank you.
hairdresser. I was a
Thank you.
hairdresser.
Wow. That
Your
is
hair
the
is
best thing I've heard
beautiful.
all day because I was feeling pretty depressed about that. So
You have
made my entire day.
beautiful hair.
Thank you.
And
Oh,
Michael,
thank
you have like a movie star voice. Say something, Michael.
Something, Michael.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at that
Anything
voice.
like.
I mean, like
Oh, yeah.
you've got a great voice. I mean, that is just awesome. I
Mi-
talked to you on the phone. It doesn't stand out as much as it does now. Like when you're on.
Michael,
video.
you do voiceovers?
No, I was in radio for a while, but mostly behind the scenes. I did marketing and promotions.
should
but,
do
I
voiceovers
think I only
with that
cracked the
voice.
mic 2 or 3 times.
You
Uh,
should though.
you
He
You
has
should
so
though.
much-
You should
You
do
should
'em.
definitely do
Yeah, come
voiceover.
close. Look at
It's-
Wasted
it's-
talent. Yeah.
It
He's got a
pays
great
well. It
style.
pays
He
well,
does
and
good
it's
stuff,
easy.
too.
So all right, you guys.
Now,
So
wait, are
first of
you
all-
two connected, married, lovers, boyfriend, girlfriend?
We love
Lovers,
lovers.
boyfriend, girlfriend,
Yeah,
and yes,
everything.
et
You're,
al.
you're
You know,
everything.
everything.
And,
So
and the dearest of friends.
So
Yeah.
Ron knows nothing about you because he doesn't research any
No.
guests whatsoever.
I
So-
don't want it to be a corny show where it's rehearsed.
So,
And it
so
comes
I'm going to
off
tell
that way.
everybody.
Absolutely.
So you guys, so Isabella is the founder.
Wait, you know what Isabella means in Italian?
What?
Is she's beautiful.
There you go.
Essa
And it
bella.
works because she's beautiful.
Essa,
so it works.
Isabella is she's beautiful. That's you. That your name means she's
Quite,
beautiful.
quite
in
accurate,
Italian.
right?
Well, I mean,
yes, it's
they
actually-
named her right. They didn't say essa brutta. Brutta is ugly.
That's like hilarious. So you guys, Isabella, first of all, Isabella does have a very cool podcast. It's called The Hourglass with Isabella. It's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But she's the founder of The Chateau, and Ron's going to find this I think incredibly fascinating. She's in charge of the cat and founder of the Chateau. It's a cat girl magazine. You go to thechateau.org, and it's the first ever online magazine dedicated to cat girls and the kitten play lifestyle. And she is the Chateau Madame.
Now, explain what the hell does that mean?
Okay, I always like to do it like this. It's kind of like
Wait,
you obviously you
Is
remember
it like a
Playboy.
wait? Is it a cat house?
It's it's an online magazine predominantly. But you remember Hugh Hefner had Playboy with the little bunny ears?
Yeah.
It's a female-owned, female-empowered magazine which is dedicated to fashion predominantly. The photo shoots around that, but also just the beauty in an age. I think we don't dress up so much anymore, which is a shame.
Tell
and
me
it's
about
nice
it. It
sometimes.
is.
Yeah,
Did you
it's
see
nice
the rags?
sometimes to feel-
The rags at the Academy Award they were. What kind of dresses were those dresses at the Academy Awards? They were horrible.
So hang on though, you're missing
No,
some
I know
of it.
what she's saying.
No, because like
I
the
love what she does.
like the Playboy Mansion, they have bunnies. Well, like with the
has
Chateau,
cats.
they dress up like cats
Yes.
with the cat ears and cat
Listen,
tails.
You know how many bunnies?
It's all sizes, all shapes,
Yeah, it's
all colors.
inclusive, it's diverse,
Mm.
it's everything. Yeah.
So now, Michael, now was she doing that before you met her, or did you help her do that? How did you fit into all of it?
That's how you met me.
That's entirely her enterprise. I happened to go down to New Orleans once upon a time,
look at
and
that.
we happened
That's
to be in the
so
same
nice.
room, met, locked eyes, and then after that had several years of courtship and back and forth.
Several years of longing to be together over a long time, and then eventually we got our shit together, and now we're together.
Yes, we are.
It was a very intense and romantic story, which someday probably should be written.
Oh, so you are lovers. You are
they
lovers.
said-
Oh yeah,
we're
absolutely,
lovers.
yeah,
You know,
absolutely,
we're
yeah,
lovers.
of course,
Oh,
yeah.
I was going to say to myself, he must be gay, because if he's not gay and he's not in love with her, he's nuts.
He missed the lovers part.
Yeah, I
So-
will say the gentlemen do like him. We'll say that he's quite a handsome chap.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
sure they do.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
sure
I
they
mean,
do.
he could whisper in my ear anytime. With that voice, does it turn you on when he whispers how much he loves
Oh,
you?
he has an amazing voice, and
I
it's
mean,
funny
it's
that you guys
sexy.
said this earlier.
It's a very sexy voice.
Yeah, you talked about
Oh,
voiceover work.
Stop! You're gonna turn me red.
Yeah, he needs
Yeah.
to do voiceover work. You would be so good at it.
You're throwing away money, my friend, if you don't do voiceover. Commercial
I
voice.
wholeheartedly agree with you.
I mean, you could sell anything with that voice. The women will buy anything, that even the gays.
Yeah, you got
They'll
it.
hear that voice, they'll buy anything.
You should be doing like lube commercials and stuff.
Don't be
right.
Don't be vulgar, Jimmy.
That's not vulgar.
Oh, like from
Like
me.
they do kid and play lifestyle.
From me, I critique vulgar.
No, because they also do.
No,
like,
he should have a site where women go on, and he says there was a guy that used to do this years ago on television. He made millions and millions of dollars. You had champagne with him, and he was this sort of attractive guy sitting in a chair, and he would say to the women, "I want to make love to you. I will take you in my arms, and I will kiss you. I will caress you." And women would tune in like crazy. You should do that. But nowadays, you can go further. You could say, "I want to suck your nipples. I want to grab your ass," because that's what they do today. You can get away with it. You know how many women would be
I want to
using their.
take you and pet you on the head and tell you everything is
Do you
all
know
right.
how many? Listen, every woman has a vibrator. You know how many vibrators would be running if they watched that show?
yeah, they would all be.
They
All,
would
all
be
over
coming all over the place from you. I'm telling you. Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm not lying. You could make a fortune of money. You could be a superstar. I'm serious.
Absolutely. I know. I like agree with it. So now,
Let's get off.
Isabella,
We lost
where?
the camera for a second. Okay, it's back. We're
Right,
good.
there we go. Sorry about that. I wasn't
Is it-
ducking out of embarrassment.
So
No, I thought you had a. I thought you had a
but
pee.
the screen popped up, and I couldn't see your lovely faces.
So Isabella, where are you from?
So I'm originally from just south of London in the UK, a little part of England called Surrey. So it's about 20
Oh,
minutes.
I know
south of
Surrey.
London.
Surrey, that's a big place.
That's not
I
a
love
little.
Surrey.
Surrey's not little by no means.
Okay,
No,
and then
specifically, I grew up in Chobham, but I was born in Guildford, so all still Surrey.
Yeah, I go to London quite a lot.
and then
I've
where?
got a lot of friends there.
Then where, Michael? Where are you from?
North Carolina. Yeah,
Yes.
Asheville. But I moved
Oh,
all
Asheville
over.
is awesome. Asheville's awesome.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Bill-
Oh yeah,
Isn't
we're
it
here right now. We love Asheville.
The
It's
Biltmore
great.
Yeah,
House.
they call it the San Francisco of the South.
They like
you
our
know?
they like our fireplace in the
Oh,
chat room.
great.
Yes.
This is an 1800s fireplace that was imported from England and brought here to America. That's a true story.
I love
You know,
Asheville. they have great antique
She sounds
stores
like our
there.
dear friend Ozzy Aziz. She has the same accent as
Yes.
Ozzy. Is Ozzy from that part of London?
I don't know. She's from
England?
London someplace, but I'm not sure.
I forgot where Ozzy's from, but she sounds just like you. I think it's her. when
Oh,
you
also,
speak.
you guys, if you want to follow Isabella, she's on Instagram and she's very active. And you just got to remember that Isabella is with 2 I's, so it's ISIBELLAKARNSTEIN, because she's got a fun Instagram, so you can follow her there. And the website for the chateau is thechateau.org.
Yes,
And you
it
can
is.
plug it in and you can actually see the magazine.
Isabella, where did you come from to think that this thing would work? I mean, that took a lot of guts.
Yeah, I think growing up in England, I really loved fashion predominantly. I also loved the fetish scene in London, which was it's fantastic, and it's a lot fashion focused. So you can have a lot of latex fashion. I wanted to kind of bring it more to the mainstream audience. And when I first moved to America, I was in Colorado. I was running events. I was an event promoter predominantly. We did events in LA. We did events in New Orleans, was a big hub for that. And of course, events like Burning Man in Nevada. And being able to explore.
That's a big event. Burning Man, that's a huge event.
Oh yeah, we have a camp out there that's called Brûlée. It's on the front line of the festival. I've been doing Burning Man now for over a decade, over 10 years. We have an amazing camp. So if you guys ever want to check it out, it's a great art festival. The people are so kind and inclusive, and it's gorgeous. It's just to be out in the desert is such a beautiful environment.
Oh, we live in the desert. What are you telling us? I hate it. I hate it.
We live in Palm Springs.
Listen, Isabella,
California, yes.
Isabella, what's your membership? How many people do you think you have? You know?
How many people that's a great question. I don't know offhand because I make a point of not checking this information because I think it influences how people act. But I do know for a fact, in terms of models, we have over 471 models worldwide. It's international.
Wow.
We have models from Europe, Africa, Australia, obviously the US, Canada, South America. So I like that you can sign up from anywhere to be involved. It's
So it's an international event.
Yeah, it's an international magazine, with a focus also, of course, to the beautiful events that we run, which are usually masquerade themed. So we do a lot of costume events with the masks and stuff, which is fun because it's fantasy and it's immersive. And again, we're living in such a time now where it is kind of depressing and constricted. And so my only desire of it is to give people a place to express themselves. Like, a lot of people know about the Met Gala, obviously, but not everybody has the opportunity to go and enjoy the Met Gala. With the events I do, if you've got thousands of people and you give an excuse, wear that ball gown, wear that tuxedo, wear that beautiful costume, and express yourself like you're in Hollywood, wherever you are. People really want that sometimes.
Absolutely.
I think we
And
don't
same-
pay enough attention to that. Yeah.
We go to Hollywood all the time, and they don't even
Oh, they
dress
look
like
like
they're in
slop.
Hollywood
They
when
look
they're in
like
Hollywood.
slop.
They look
They wear a
homeless.
gown with combat boots. Give me a break. But, so
I'll wear a
it-
tuxedo to Walmart or something.
So
you
in
know?
other words,
Understand? I have a
wait,
question.
Isabella,
I'm sorry.
wait. I
One
just
of
want-
you's in fashion, right?
I was, yes.
Yes. And you would dress the stars and things, is what I
Yes.
He dressed Madonna. He dressed
Elton John.
Elton John. He dressed all the big shots.
Yes, it was
Was
fun,
it
and I
fun?
loved it. Yes, and I also had a line of fetish wear, and I had a competition
Cool.
of a store called Fetish Factory, and I would dress people.
Oh, yeah, we've heard
yeah.
of it.
And, yeah, so Fetish Factory, and I
Oh,
used
he
to.
used to
we were-
model the dildos.
I did not, and I.
You know Glenn?
Yeah, very well. I know him really,
Oh,
really well.
yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good. Yeah,
I had
small world.
I had 3 stores in Fort Lauderdale, and he would throw all his Fetish Factory parties, and we would dress people for him all the time. And it was
Yeah,
and he's
the,
a very
the
he's-
Western takeover they do in
Hold
north of
on,
Miami.
hold
there.
on.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yeah.
What?
We're married.
So
You never told me you
What?
did fetish.
Yeah,
That's fine.
husband
That's
team.
fine.
I didn't go to the parties. I
You
just
didn't go
dressed
to the
people for
parties
'em.
dress fetish?
No, I
Swear
can't.
to- swear to God.
Swear to God, I can't dress fetish. I'm like, back then I was like skinny and ugly.
We're
Now I'm
mar-
fat and
we're-
ugly.
you know, we're married. I thought maybe he was going to
Yeah,
bring
you're a
something new in the
husband team.
bedroom.
No, but
Yeah.
fetish, but you know, people have a very big misconception about what that is. They think it's a bunch of freaks. It's all like doctors and
I'm an
lawyers and
fetish
judges
Yeah.
and
I'll
and
be
wealthy
back.
people. It's all
do that.
like
No, okay, you keep going. I'm gonna bring my birds out. You'll see. You can meet our birds.
See-
You can-
Okay.
So you've got your puppies. I'm not sure if it's picking up on the audio, but we have some very loud birds.
oh, okay.
Birds?
Can you hear them or not?
No.
No, we can't hear them on
Okay,
our
good.
side.
Yeah, well then
We
she
can't hear
should
'em.
probably
In the
worried
chat room-
unnecessarily.
In the chat room, though, they're talking about how beautiful the chairs are that you're sitting in. Also,
Thank you. Yeah.
Tell them they're for sale, 500 each.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? More than that. Yeah, we'll put it on Facebook.
Or more than
Marketplace
that,
after
whatever
this or
they
something.
cost. Put it on Facebook.
So how long have you lived in Asheville?
Yeah. I've been back here for a minute or two. There we go. Come on. Come here.
Oh, look at that beautiful parrot.
A green bird too.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Oh
that.
my gosh! And they like just sit on your
They were not
hand.
cooperating with our plan to
Yeah,
You sequester in the other
We
room.
put them in the other room. We're like, you be quiet, man.
Do they fly around the house?
They do.
Yeah,
they
they
do
do.
fly around the
Yeah.
house.
yeah, they're
They're
free flighted. They
beautiful.
don't
Yeah, they're
we,
very
we,
And is it true they could live like 250 years?
Yeah, they can live to 100 years old.
Yeah,
They are very
yeah.
long
Oh,
lived.
100 only.
So what
Okay.
are their
100 years.
names? What
So
are their
this is
names?
Scarlet,
This is Scarlet.
after Scarlett O'Hara.
Okay,
And this is Emerald.
Red-
because she's
oh.
green.
Emerald,
So red
Emerald
and
and
green.
Scarlet.
Red and green.
Not Red Butler.
And how long have you had them?
These are actually babies right now. We've had them a year now.
Yeah,
A
coming
year.
up to a year.
They're
Yeah.
1 year old. They're little
Oh my
creatures.
gosh,
Mhm.
they're adorable.
They're smart, right? Those birds.
Oh, they're so intelligent.
Yeah, they're like Houdini about getting out of the cages. So
Oh,
now
they are.
now I have to reinforce their. They have very
They
very
escape
they have
artists.
very lovely cages. When you hear a cage, you might have a negative association. You know, but
They have these
it-
beautiful,
it's-
spacious cages.
it's their-
but
it's
they
their-
can. And the red bird, she'll get out and she'll free the green bird. She'll be
Mhm.
like, "Escape with me, sister." It's cute.
Oh my God, they're so beautiful.
Now, do
They
either one
really
of do either one of them speak?
Not yet.
Not
They're
yet.
too young. They will.
that one screams.
Yeah, she can scream like nobody's business. She's very
I
talented.
could
She's
never
in
have a
Hollywood.
parrot. I could never have a parrot in this house because the language that we use, the parrot would be repeating it
Oh, they'd learn.
Oh.
They learn
at a
swearing.
party.
They
It'd
don't
be
do
very
that.
embarrassing. At
Oh,
a
that's-
party when they say "fuck you, fuck you, fuck you."
So like African Greys have like the largest vocabulary, and I've met a couple of those in
They
my
can
time.
have up to
have
like
to.
90-word vocabulary. My mother had one, and this parrot, she was a big fan of her champagne, right? If you popped a champagne, the parrot would imitate the cork popping.
You're kidding.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
it was
that's so much
impressive. They
fun.
can also imitate dogs barking. We had a little dog, and I always used to be like, "Don't bark." The bird would pick up the barking, and when I was outside of the kitchen, the bird would bark like a dog, and I'd be like,
And it sounds like a dog.
"Oh, it's identical. You can't tell the difference."
It's
really
amazing how they do that with their vocals.
I don't know how they do it either,
Mm.
but they're so sweet. Like a lot of people don't realize just how gentle they are, and
Do
they're
they
really,
ki-
they're really loving.
If you say "kiss me," do they give you little kisses?
Oh, you can can you give her a kiss?
Yeah, I mean they won't do it on command, but you know they
My little
they can
guy.
be flying bolt cutters.
Yeah,
Really, they can. You know,
they can take off a whole finger if
yeah,
they want to.
or a nose, whatever.
nose,
You know,
whatever.
so
So
they're.
wait, hang on. They bite?
Yeah.
Oh
birds-
God, yeah.
birds-
They have a greater bite strength than
Do
an
you know
alligator.
about-
So
what's PSI mean? It's
Oh, and you-
pounds
and
per
you-
square inch.
And you're
they
not
can
worried
bite
about putting them
stronger
so
than
close
a
to your
dog.
face?
know
You
what
don't
I
mind
do?
them being close to your face like that?
Yeah, because we trust them. They
Yeah.
know us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they tend to bond to like a couple of people, and we're a flock. So
Yeah.
That's the way our dogs are too. We're like a herd.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
the-
we have 3 dogs. This is just one of them because he's the small one, but the other 2 are too noisy.
Yeah.
But I love it. Okay, so let's
which is
let-
what predicated them being on camera today.
So
Yeah.
wait a minute. Yeah, let's get back. Now listen. So if a woman is heavy set, she goes to your magazine and
Yes.
she realizes that being heavy set is not something to be ashamed of, and you offer her clothing, brassieres, panties, dresses, stockings, sexy high heels. I mean, do you give her a line that she could turn her husband on? You know, sexy
So-
clothes.
So essentially, what we do, and it's definitely glamour portraits. So there's definitely lingerie if girls want to express themselves in that way. But we also allow photo sets for like full-on ball gowns or classical dresses, so that girls can express themselves whatever they want. Each month we have a theme. So right now it's spring. We say we want to see like wildflowers and roses and beautiful backdrops that embody everything that's gorgeous about spring. So
I
kind
love
of like
that.
if you had like a magazine like Vogue, they'll focus on different themes in terms of fashion. We give the models themes. They then go out with their own photographers that they trust and know. They bring back the photo sets. It's 10 photos per set. And then they submit them to a magazine, and then we release them. And once a month, we pick a model for the cover, which still embodies the theme of whatever the monthly theme is.
I like.
But I think one of the questions was, I mean, you don't actually provide the clothing. You know, these are people pick their own wardrobe. I mean, there might be.
You listen. A woman that's 300 pounds, you tell her where she can get a size 25 or whatever they are, right?
It's hard. But I will say
it's very hard because
it's great custom work too. Like if
I have a lot of friends women that have gotten older and they got fat, and they can't find decent clothes. So they should get you a magazine, and you will tip them off to where they can look good.
It's
right?
very cool.
Oh yeah, I will suggest places. You know, like they're a custom. Like I don't know if you know about it. The Fairy Goth Mother in London. They make these amazing. They're based in Camden, London, and they make amazing custom corsets, and they are just chef's kiss. So I think the great thing about today's age is we are a lot more accepting and diverse. So for someone who's a plus size model coming in, it's actually a lot easier on custom sites like Etsy to actually find clothing, you know, which I think is a great step in the right direction. I'm very proud of how the industry is heading and where it's moving towards, truly.
Your eyelashes are fabulous.
Yep.
Thank you.
Years ago, a heavyset woman had to go to Lane Bryant, and they had junk in their old lady dresses.
Lane Bryant? Is that? Give me the English translation. What is that?
Lane Bryant was a fat woman's
Lane
store.
Bryant was a
retail store.
Cool.
Retail
It
store.
was owned by the Limited and Express.
It was for very fat women's 18 plus, and big women,
Okay.
and the clothing was very old lady, horrible. Now, because you're overweight doesn't mean you can't be sexy.
No,
and hang your
Yeah.
tits out and look
Expressing
sexy.
yourself.
It's
Yeah.
about expressing
So-
yourself, and like heretofore, as you're referring to, it's like previously a lot of things that were available to people were very limited, and that's.
But
know,
your
one of the great
magazine
things
shows
things
them-
about.
Did you hear about Lizzo's new show? On that note, she's got a new reality show coming out,
Who?
which is focused.
He won't know.
on
He doesn't know.
plus-size
Who is
sexy.
it?
He won't know who Lizzo. He won't know who Lizzo is. I know who Lizzo is. Lizzo is a very big, like hip hop R&B singer.
She's heavy.
Very heavy.
Yeah, and she
Well,
has a
you know-
beautiful new reality TV show coming up, which focuses on that as a plus size being beautiful, and I think it looks really good. So I think it's coming out on Netflix. I don't know the date, but I'm
Well,
definitely gonna check
getting
it out.
back to your magazine, I'm really happy with what you're doing, because there was a time when society made women very tall or very heavy feel ashamed.
Oh yes.
And now, thank God, we're saying that no matter what you look like or who you are, you can be beautiful.
Yeah.
And
Right,
I
it's
think,
also multifaceted, you know?
and I really support your
Love.
I support your magazine.
That's good.
Thank
That's
you.
good. Roxy's putting up pictures and they look great.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
because
really
you know,
cool that you can do that.
you know,
That's awesome.
when I work on a film, there's a young girl. She's extremely heavy. I mean, morbidly obese, and she's lovely, and we all love her. And now she's lost about 150 pounds. She's heavy set now, but not obese anymore. And I said, "Is it any different?" She said, "Oh, Ron, you wouldn't believe how nice people are to me now, and how things are different." She said, "When I was like 280 or 300, people were rude to me, made fun of me. The guys used to make jokes about me." And she's you know who I'm talking about? That fat girl
Yes.
in our show, in our theater when we work.
Call her that fat girl.
Well, she's a fat girl. I'm skinny. She's fat. Nothing wrong with the word fat. Fat describes. I'm skinny. She's fat. What's wrong with that?
Actually, Teresa
know,
says
today-
IMG now has promoted. They promote Big and Beautiful.
Everybody's too fucking sensitive today about words. I'm 82 years old. I've been using these words for 50,000 years.
Yeah, so you use non-euphemistic language. Kudos to you.
Yes, he
You know what I mean?
does.
So what? You're fat.
So let's.
I tell my daughter Leslie, you're fat.
Yeah.
You know, fat people are fat.
Look, I've had struggles with my life with you know.
And what do you
weight.
think? I don't. I'm Italian. I eat. I can go up. I can go up.
I love
I love
pasta and
food,
potatoes.
Italian.
Oh my god, I got the
I
worst
love
of it.
Listen, I have been 255, which I look like a horse, and now I'm thin. I diet all the time, only
Yeah.
because I'm in show business. In the movies, they don't always want to hire a fat old man.
Are you both foodies? Do you like going out to restaurants and enjoying good food?
You know what?
We don't go to restaurants.
We don't really go because Ron doesn't like how things are made a lot of the times. You know, like we go to the restaurants and like they don't use good oils, and I mean,
No.
because
They use motor
And-
oil.
and they'll call it sauce instead of gravy.
Well, not
Yes.
even that. Italian restaurants. If I'm not in Brooklyn or Boston or New Jersey, I won't eat it.
Or Philadelphia, maybe.
No, Philadelphia. Yeah, I love Italian.
Yeah, there we
food.
go. Thank you. Yeah,
Oh,
so
no,
I was
Phil-
married to a Sicilian a long time ago.
You
so,
know, I
yeah.
lived
we lived
we
there.
lived in
we lived
Philly.
in Doylestown. Actually,
Yeah.
we lived in
No,
Doylestown
no,
before we moved here.
Any place where there's an Italian neighborhood, the food is good. But the minute you get
When-
out of that, like I lived in Boca, and my friend Perry said to me, Ronald, darling, there's a restaurant you must eat, and the food is divine. That's how she spoke, very theatrical. Well, we go to this divine restaurant, and the sauce was atrocious. So I took her out back and I showed her. I said, see, Perry, this 15-gallon can that's here? That's where the sauce came from. Nobody cooked it.
Yeah.
That shit was made in the factory. They send it to the restaurant and they scoop it out and throw it on a pasta, charge you $30, and you're fainting. Oh, I'm fainting already. It's gorgeous. It's divine. You're full of shit. It's horrible.
It
Not
came
like
out of a
I made
can.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not like I.
Did
And
you
they
know
use. They don't use. They don't
Who's
use
the
a hundred.
Who's the
Uh,
chef? Which
Yeah,
one?
we don't know. Yeah, so
But
we
they don't use 100% virgin olive oil.
Actually, when we go to New York, we do go out to restaurants, and we live in Palm Springs. We have no Chinese restaurants that
And the
that are
pizza's-
any good,
the
and the
pizza's
pizza
like
is
rubber.
atrocious here. It's just terrible. We really miss like East Coast everything. East Coast Chinese food and East Coast Italian.
it has
food.
to do with the water.
Wait a minute. So that's kind of upside down. There's no Chinese restaurants. Is there not a Jewish community in Boca?
Oh no,
No,
we're in Palm
Boca's
Springs.
full.
Boca was full, but in
it's
Palm
all
Springs,
it's all Jewanese food. I call it.
yeah, it was
Right.
great.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, but no, we're in
No,
Palm
which one of you's
Springs.
the chef? I wonder which one. of you
I'm
is
the chef.
cook?
Ron,
I'm the
I
cook.
can't cook. I can't cook to save my life.
I'm Italian, and I was raised Italian in an all Italian Jewish neighborhood. And I'm in New York, from Brooklyn. You know, how much more Italian can you get than that? And
Hold on real quick, because we've got 8 minutes and I want to talk about our podcast
Yes.
a little bit. So you have
Oh,
a
yeah.
fabulous podcast called The Hourglass with Isabella. People can see it on hear it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I wrote down it encompasses mysteries, esoteric, occult history, the paranormal, and more. Basically, you talk about anything that's like cool and
Everything.
Anything
and
you
everything.
want.
Everything.
So give us
Oh, yeah,
some
we
of the
talk about
topics.
stuff from the Titanic to esoteric mysteries. We talk about serial killers. We discuss history, anything, TV shows, anything that's hot right now. We discuss.
What are some of your favorite TV shows that
wait
are
a
hot
minute,
right
wait
now?
a minute,
Wait.
wait a minute.
Oh,
When
I love the Gilded Age.
Oh, we do too. And
We
you
do too.
Oh my god.
and you should be on it. You look like
Oh
someone
my
who would be on
I
it.
love the Russells. We are like Mr. and Mrs. Russell right here in the world
every
of the
time
movie.
they
Oh, he's very handsome.
Yeah.
I love that show so much.
Mr.
And when
Russell.
Yeah.
and I love what's the other lady? The people who live across the street.
Oh,
What's
the
the name?
daughter. She got Gladys is the daughter.
Van
of the
Ryans.
Russells. The
The Van Ryans. When they
Yeah,
went
the
when they
neighbors.
went to the auction and that one lady came in and then the Van Ryan lady says, "Okay, so now let's just go out and roll around in the gutter." I was like cracking up laughing. I thought that was like the greatest line of any show I've ever seen.
and you know what? This was true. When
it's based
oh
on
no,
history,
back in
that's
the
correct.
1800s in New York, if you were not English, you were dirt. When the Italians and the Jews and the Germans, went to New York, they were poorly treated. The snobbery in New York was
Yes.
outrageous. That is based on true fact. That's not made up
Yes.
stuff.
Mhm.
Oh, I've heard
Astros
that
Did
as
you
well.
wait? Did you like Downton Abbey when it was on? Because we love Downton
Oh
Abbey.
yeah, we
also.
did a podcast on that one.
I liked Downton Abbey. I will
Loved
say
it.
it was a little close to home for my upbringing, for my
Yes.
taste. So I liked it, but it was a little too real for me. So we watched it just recently. We covered it. We did a podcast. I love Julian Fellows as a writer. His stuff is fantastic. So I'm very glad he's doing this new project. But I love the 1880s and Gilded Age because of the bustle gowns. And I love the silhouette on the men in the top hats. I love a man in a top hat. It's so
And
handsome.
I think Michelle Dockery was incredible. She is such
Oh,
an
yes.
actress.
She's from Downton Abbey. We
I
love
have
her.
seen I have
Oh, but
seen
she's
her.
amazing.
Oh wait, I saw her playing a lesbian prostitute, drug addict, murderess
Wow.
in a series, and she had an American accent. She was fabulous. This
She
girl,
had a series on TNT, and it only did 2 seasons, but it was one of the best series
oh,
I've
it was-
ever
and
seen.
she was wonderful.
If you look her name up, I forgot
She-
the name of it, but
She played this horrific human being. She's quite an actress, Michelle Dockery. Love her. I would like to work with her one day. I told Jimmy, please put her in one of the movies I'm in. I would love it.
Yes. Well, you guys do movies as well, correct?
yes,
I do.
I
I-
produce him. He acts in them.
I'm in the business 64 years. My first movie, I was 19.
That's
Back
a
in-
great age to be
Nin-
starting.
1959, I was in my first movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's
we
wonderful.
we work heavily in the film and television industry.
Now I do only horror movies, but I want to get out of it soon. I'm going to be in a couple of films coming up. I can't mention what.
Oh yes.
But
Very
Big,
cool.
big stars, and they're not Hollywood. They're not horror
As we
movies.
say, no spoilers, as we say.
No spoilers.
spoilers.
Well, I can't talk about it because the ink is not dry on the contract. But I won't be doing too many horror movies of late.
He has one though, because we're doing the new. I'm producing the new Nicolas Cage movie, and he'll be in that.
So you
Oh,
said
the
it.
Dracula
yeah?
one? The
Oh, no one can
not
say.
that one. No, it's
Okay.
called It's just called Death Realm. It's a different one.
See, I wasn't going to say anything, and he said it. So there
No,
you
it's
go.
okay. It's public knowledge.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, nobody.
Yeah,
Everybody
it's
tells
public
me.
knowledge.
Yeah, maybe you signed the NDA and he didn't. Who knows?
No,
Yeah.
they all tell me.
Well, I'm producing it. They haven't done the casting yet, but he will be in it. But I'm producing
Well,
it.
I
so-
sleep with the producer. Of course, I'm going to be in it.
You know, when
That's
I
a good
was-
way to secure your contract
when
there.
I
Well,
was
if you
growing up
sleep with the
in England-
producer, you get in every movie.
Hang on, say that again, Isabella.
When I was growing up in England, my father used to work on all of the James Bond movies. And so as a result, he would know the title of the James Bond movie before it was released. And I was a little girl growing up in school, and I would always know the James Bond movie title because he'd secretly tell me, but I couldn't tell anyone. And all of my friends at school would be like, tell us the name of the movie. And I'd be like, I can't. I'm sworn to NDA secrecy. And they'd be like, what's an NDA?
They don't know what. They don't know.
You'll learn about that later.
You learn
It'll
about
be
Yes.
fun.
it.
Well,
Yeah,
kids
it
don't
was
know
great
about
fun.
those things.
I love the film industry. I really do. I think it's.
You
it's
should be in it, though.
You're not an actress.
I think
right?
you
Wait,
should
hang
be
on.
in
I
it.
want to
No, I'm
interview
not.
her.
I shall not be an actor. I'm going
Well,
to wait
you-
until I'm a very
well,
old
you know
lady,
what? You know
and
what?
then I shall be an
Let me
actress.
let me
when I'm
let
much
me
older.
let me tell you about your day as an actor. You get up
Okay.
at
You have 2
3:30,
minutes.
3:30 or 4 o'clock. You get in your car. You drive to the studio. You go into bullshit, makeup, wardrobe, rehearsal. You sit around for hours waiting for them to set up. They shoot your scene 50 times. Now it's midnight,
Yeah.
and it's time
But
to
at
go
least
home.
sometimes they provide
Well,
good
wait a
food.
minute. It's time to go home to sleep 3 hours to get up and do it again the next day.
Yeah, that cool time.
Mhm.
After a
Yeah,
week,
we were doing a documentary in LA, and I went out to Bar Sinister because I wanted to go night clubbing. My cool time was meant to be in the afternoon, and they messaged me at 6 a.m. and said, "Can you come on set now?" And I thought, "Oh God." So I got up with a hangover, went to the set, and luckily they provided this beautiful buffet. And I was like, "This is amazing." So I just ate food all day, sat on the set, enjoyed the makeup and hair. I had great fun with the hairdresser. It was actually a really fun time.
So the takeaway is just go out, get your drink on, and stay up, and you'll never miss a call
Keep
time.
going. Harry.
well, maybe when I was 20.
Oh,
but
speaking
no-
of drinking, yeah. So I got to say this. I got that the tech email from you, and that had everything on there, and it says, make sure you're well lit. And I'm thinking, well, okay, it's like, well,
no, not lit that way.
Well lit after 11 a.m. And
he should have said well light.
He's talking about lighting.
He should have said well lighted.
I thought
That's
you were encouraging me
hilarious.
to get my drink on before.
Oh, that
the
was
interview.
okay.
It's like,
That was okay. You can do
loosen
that
me up a
anyway.
little bit or whatever.
Make
but,
sure you're well lighted.
right.
So you guys, please follow Isabella on
Yes.
on Instagram. It's Isabella. Remember, it's ISI Bella Karnstein, and then
Karnstein.
and if you go on Spotify or Apple Podcast, plug in the Hourglass with Isabella. They have a great show. It's a lot of fun. I've listened to some episodes. They've got going to have some great guests coming up, so please support them and check out thechateau.org. TheChateau.org. That is their kitty cat girl magazine, lifestyle magazine. It's fabulous. It's something totally unique and original, and I think you guys will love it. And we want to thank all four of you for coming on the show.
He was so
And-
well-behaved.
I would like to say, anyone out there that has a problem with who you are, go on her magazine, and I know that she'll teach you that you don't have a problem.
Oh, thank you
Absolutely.
so
Aw.
much. That was incredibly kind. Thank
Very
you.
Well,
sweet.
I feel for. My sister was fat, and I know what she went through all her life. And she married this guy that wasn't so hot. And I said, "Why did you marry him?" She said, "Because nobody else wanted me."
Which is terrible.
That's,
you know,
that's
so-
horrible.
Yeah, it is horrible when you're overweight. There are a lot of chubby chasers out there, guys that love it, but the majority of men, they want skinny women. They want Playboy Bunny. They want her. They want Isabella.
She's gorgeous. Actually, everybody loves both of you guys. They both are talking in the chat room how
You're a-
gorgeous you
you're
both
a
are. We
beautiful
have to go
couple.
though because we're out of time. We're out of time. You guys, thank you so
Take care.
much.
Take care, baby.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks,
Love
Roxy.
you.
Thanks, chat room. We'll see you guys next week with the cast of Dynasty.
Yay.
Yay. Bye, everybody.
Can turn out to be so wrong. Yeah, we in the mix. Yeah, we in the mix. It's another episode. Here we go. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Interviewing the hottest, newest, and truest of today's celebrities. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified weekly. Jimmy Star, he's the king of cool. Ron Russell, he's a gorgeous dude. Chat room is live and you would be a fool not to vibe with us at the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Come watch it live on W4CY Radio. Miss some past episodes? Download on iTunes. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. It's the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell.